Good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is Manchester United versus AC Milan live stream watch along on the United Stand. Team news is in. We're about half an hour away from kick-off, and I tell you what, I feel like I'm still asleep. I do. I feel like I'm still asleep for a very simple reason that the team news has come out, as you can see to my left there, and it is Banter FC again. It's touching 30 and you make it into the team yet again, because it is a ridiculous team lineup as far as I'm concerned, mainly because of Darmian, also because I've never seen such a slow and static midfield. I mean, the Darmian thing is banter. Okay? But that midfield is a joke. It's an absolute joke. I mean, if this game doesn't finish 0-0, I'll be surprised. I'll be really surprised, because where are the goals coming from? Where's the creativity coming from? The midfield is Twan CB, who I like, McTominay, who I like, and Herrera, who I like, but all three of them have got the creativity of a stone. It is absolutely a joke, that midfield three. Pereira does play. I thought he wasn't going to play for a moment. Pereira does play, but he starts on the, I think he's going to start on the left-hand side. The front three has got no youth in it. He's gone with Mata, Herrera and Sanchez. But, yeah, you know, it's pre-season. Remember, top Reds will be telling you to be screaming. It's pre-season. It's pre-season. It doesn't matter. It's just pre-season. Yeah, I don't know how they justify the fact that Matteo Darmian's playing and he's captain. I mean, this is somebody who played next to no games last season. And Fosu Mensah played well over 10 at right back in the Premier League. I don't think Darmian played one game in the Premier League last season. And Fosu Mensah, surprise, surprise, Fosu Mensah's on the bench and Matteo Darmian starting. And not only that, he's bloody captain as well. A little bit about AC Milan. They are playing Bonucci and they are playing Donnarumma in goal. Kessie, linked to us in the past. And Kalanoglu, who's the free kick taker. Suso playing as well, so they've got quite a strong team, AC Milan, and they'll be taking it relatively seriously, I would have thought. Lee Grant in goal, I do worry about what Manchester United are up to at the moment. I know some people will be saying it's all good, but as Andrew Alice says, he's picking crap players in the lineup. We've had a contribution coming in already from Omar K. He says, can only blame the board. I don't get how you can have a manager like Sir Alex who played expansive, exciting football and end up appointing three managers who are the complete opposite of what United are about, which I think is a fair point. 4 years from now, Jose will be gone and Martial will be in Serie A scoring 20 plus goals. Yeah, interesting developments about Anthony Martial. We did obviously do the video last night at 8 o'clock, which I'm sure a lot of you've seen, but just before I was going to get some sleep last night, I actually had read that they were going with the headline that Manchester United hadn't necessarily authorised Martial going back to England, that Mourinho was furious about it, and that Martial had basically decided that was it, he was done. Morning to Marcus, how you doing, Pope? Hopefully no pigeons on the pitch today. This is Parker and Son game. I can't, you know what, I'm starting to. The great thing about getting up at this time in the morning to watch Manchester United play is that I know a lot of you lot do it all around the world, all through the season, and I don't get a taste of what that means when you wake up and you get such crap like that from Jose. I mean, I just cannot for the life of me understand why Fosu Mensah is not starting. Matthew McFadden says, nothing like moving the most and only creative guy out wide so you can keep that trademark simple basic midfield pairing. Top notch, Jose, love it. Full of sarcasm, very, very good point. Please do share the video if you are watching, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We are going to be live all the way through, and I'll be doing a match reaction for my sins, I suppose. Now, I mean, I'm of course I'm going to watch Manchester United. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That is what it's all about. So yes, get involved, have your say, and all that jazz. But let's see what happens. It's certainly an interesting one. I'm not surprised by Darmian starting. I think I said it last night, didn't I? That I'm not surprised that Darmian would start this game. But what I did hope is that we would see a different sort of approach, maybe, from Jose, in the fact that, as I said, he always goes with experience, and the experience actually is that Manchester United are playing in a game whereby Fosu Mensah has played more times than Darmian last season, and Darmian doesn't play. It's just very, very odd. Very odd from Jose. But tell me something I don't know. Tell me something I don't know, because it's beyond baffling at times what the things that he's doing. You know. Jose trying to increase Darmian's price as Percy. What if he gets injured? I don't think Darmian's necessarily going to be leaving Manchester United now, to be honest. There's talk of Rojo going. That was coming in last night. The kit is very nice. The kit is very nice, Kenneth. I do like it. We've got El Reyes watching from Norway. We've got Harry Stafford watching from Ireland. He's lost the plot, says Minnie. And is it a 3-5-2, I think, says Joe O'Sullivan. It could be. It could be a 3-5-2, you're right. Let's wait and see what it is. But, I mean, that's even worse if it's a 3-5-2, because Darmian's crap. We've got a pigeon killer as the captain. Yeah, we have. I think we will struggle in the first 3 matches of the Premier League, says Demba Dibba. It's like Jose wants to struggle in the first 3 games of the season. I've heard people saying he wants to get the sack, which sounds ridiculous. I can't imagine he does want to do that, but there you go. Angelo says hi from Taiwan. Hello, pal. I'm just going to double check something while I've got everybody here. But it's a step up today. It is a step up today in relation to the opposition. It's a step up in relation to what we should be expecting from Manchester United, which so far has been not a lot, has it? But this is their 3rd pre-season game, and what we need to happen is for it to not spiral down even further into the depression that Jose Mourinho is exposing around the club at the moment, because it is rather baffling, to be honest, as to what the plan is at the club and where we're going with it. Again, I mean, we can. The word I would use, and John Addison's with us, and he says morning. Please keep sharing the video, everybody. There's a share button underneath, and subscribe if you're new. Let's see how many people we can get watching this morning, because I can guarantee there'll be some people just can't be asked to get up for this, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that's, but it's a personal choice, I know, but I don't necessarily agree with that. But it is a good opportunity to see what Manchester United are all about as their development comes along. And you know what I was thinking about last night as well, and I don't know whether many of you thought about this, but I was thinking this tonight. What actually is the difference between the players that he's got and the players that he hasn't got? Because he goes on about it a lot, but actually, when all said and done, we have De Gea is goalkeeper. Obviously, that makes a difference. But does it make a huge difference in a game like this? And you've got Valencia was here and he'll be injured. The back 2 are probably as good as anything that he can put out anyway, because you've got Bailly and Smalling. Well, Lindelof and Jones. Wow. Shaw's better than Young anyway, even though he will play Young as soon as he can. The midfield 3, well, yeah, that's where there's a massive amount of difference, really, because you can play Pogba, Matic and Fred, and we've got none of those options at the moment, so I do agree with that. And then the front 3, obviously Lukaku comes in, but we've got Sanchez, we had Martial, we've got Mata. I mean, there's only really Lingard and Rashford, so I think it's just the midfield area, really, that strikes me as the area that's going to be a massively better. But yeah, it's. I think the Darmian thing is just... This is what frustrates me about Jose, I've got to be honest with you, because as I said last night, it's not all on him. Of course it's not all on him. It would be ridiculous to say it's all on Jose. There's definitely 2 sides to this, and I think his frustration about lack of signings is justified, and I do agree with it. But the thing that frustrates me the most about him is the stupidity, my perceived stupidity. A lot of people think I'm stupid, that's fine. But I perceive the stupidity of doing things like playing Matteo Darmian in that midfield as captain, or even picking him in the first place. It's just rather silly. But Let's see. I was just having a quick look because I think Manchester City played Liverpool, didn't they, a couple of hours ago, and I think Liverpool won 1-0. I'm just having a look on Twitter as well. Yeah, I mean, people do. There's a good point on Twitter there. Somebody just said that Fosu Mensah is streets ahead of Matteo Darmian. And let's not forget, Matteo Darmian hardly played for Manchester United last season. I'm struggling to think of a Premier League game that he actually started, but I certainly remember him playing against Bristol, and I certainly remember him playing against Yeovil, and I certainly remember him being absolutely rubbish. Prince Fresh says, I do like Pereira's versatility, but if you want to be a top player, you need a set position, even if you are the complete midfielder. Exactly. He just becomes a squad player, doesn't he? And it was 2-1 to Liverpool. So, yeah. Well, we're playing them on Saturday night. And with the midfield, I mean, to be honest, the Darmian thing's a bit of a joke, but those joining a little bit late, Salah and Mane scored. For those joining a little bit late, it's the midfield as well. Twansebe, McTominay, Herrera. I just don't rate McTominay. Maybe he'll do something in this game, but we'll see. It doesn't feel like we're building towards a United game. It's more like we're building towards a memorial service, as Mr. Zaki Boy. Swap deal with Martial for Vidal with money, and then bringing a right winger, and Alexandro could be good, says Shane Nally. Tyler says he thinks Darmian started at Bournemouth away. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right, Tyler, actually, because that was a crap game as well, wasn't it? Never seen a manager with so many excuses other than blaming himself. Arian Kronos. I didn't hear what he actually had to say, unfortunately, because I was running a little bit late. What kind of midfield is that, says Abineth. What's that on your lip, Mark Geezer? Oh, yeah, I've got a bit of, what do they call it? A bit of Bonjela or something on my lip, because I've got a bit of an ulcer. It just lasts... 2 hours of talking will kill it, so I've put this. It's called Igloo or something, actually. It's not Bonjala. You put it over the top and it just seals it. Here we go. Robert McCormack says, streets ahead. I'm not even going to reply to this. I'll just leave the United stand is a democracy. Feel free to reply to Robert in the live comments in relation to this point he's just said. In relation to Darmian versus Blind, he says, streets ahead, question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, an Italian international that every club in Italy wants versus a guy that can't get in the Palace squad. Comical. I mean, I don't know whether that's banter, sarcasm or stupidity, but not every club in Italy wants him, otherwise he would have gone. And you've just said a player that can't get in the Palace squad. Well, when does Darmian start for Manchester United? And actually, Fosu Mensah played way more games in the Premier League last season. Fosu Mensah put Sane in his pocket in January, and Sane said it was the toughest player he played against. So, I'm sorry, Robert, it's all about opinion, but when you're factually incorrect, I have to pull you up on it. Atura says, Robert, are you high? The game's not started. No, it hasn't. Do you think we're signing Harry Maguire, Mark, says William Anderson? I think transfers at the moment have gone very speculative. It's very difficult to know what we're doing. I think people are now jumping on any little thing they can and trying to turn it into a transfer story. The way I feel at the moment, I think we're probably closer to Alderweireld than we are to Harry Maguire. But I think Harry Maguire is a very interesting signing if we can do it. And for me, the left back position is the one I would love us to see sort out. That's the one I want to see more than anything. But we don't seem to be interested in sorting that left back position out. In fact, I read something that Alexandro isn't playing. Sorry, obviously Alexandro's not playing. Could have been. We could have got that deal done a long time ago. That Alexandro is now going to stay for Juventus, which I haven't had time to confirm, but I can do it while we're live, and I can tell you what the latest is on that. No, there isn't really anything. I think it's just speculative, to be honest with you. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you can moan about the money, but when you're playing Darmian at left as captain at right back, you can't question why the board won't give him any. Well, I think, a ball's not been kicked. We've got to stay positive. Of course we have. And, let's see if there's many fans bothering to turn up for this one today. I don't know. Warren Cook says another draw today. What do you think? To be honest with you, here's a little funny story for you, Warren. Normally when I come into the Watchalong studio, because I only ever use this for the games, then the score, which is at 0-0 at the moment, I normally have to change it because it's normally like 2-1, 1-0, whatever. I came in this morning to set it all up, and I was like, oh yeah, the score doesn't need to be changed then because it was 0-0, and I think 0-0 might be realistic. Although San Jose Earthquakes should have scored against us anyway, shouldn't they? I mean, they're just showing Darmian on the screen there, and it makes me. Just get out of our club, you banter signing. I mean, realistically, come on. Don Snap says empty matches should be a huge alarm. Well, I got a very good email from somebody the other day, and I forget who it is, which I apologise about because that's ignorant of me. Because we get so many messages, and basically they were kind enough to sort of justify why some of the attendances have been low, and obviously San Jose have not done very well, and where it is, it's quite a bit of a trek. But for this game, they were saying that the downsizing of the stadium, because it was meant to be double the size the stadium that United were going to play in. Downsize it, and if we can't fill it, God, it just shows you that a lucrative American market waking up to what Manchester United's all about at the moment is a big concern. But Lynn Hall says, suspect Pereira is the best cover we have for Pogba, but you can bet Jose will use Fellaini as cover for Pogba 100%. He's already said he's going to do that. Alexandre played against Bayern a few hours ago. Not bad, says Angelo Norsigli. Why we believe in Mourinho still? Is he a god? Says Antonius Lasut. Slow boring football incoming and losing, says Matt Clamp. Demi Vernon's here. Is Willian free now that Barcelona have signed the Brazilian right winger? Sorry, can't remember his name. Shine Nally. Malcolm has gone to Barcelona. Normally when Mark is with so much low expectations, United and Jose deliver, remember. Leicester match some season ago when we scored 4 in the first half. Then I remember Mark was like this, says Sandy. Well, there you go. There you go. Who is captain, says Nigel Mars. I think he's trying to wind me up. The captain is Matteo Darmian. What happened to the longest serving player is captain from Jose. Smalling, longest serving player on pitch. Jose trying to wind up the fans again. Yes. I'm going to... Mark Ellis, you know what? I'm going to tweet that out. So I'm literally going to pull that off. That's what she said. And we're going to listen to Jose here, actually, because he's just live. Let me listen. Oh no, he's talking about that's not now. That's from the other day. Boring. Talking about Michael Carrick's successor. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna copy and paste that and stick it on to Twitter, Mark, as a quote, and I'll. Let me do that. Mark Ellis. There we go. You're on Twitter with that because I thought it was a very good one, and I've Put your name next to it as well. At United Stand, MUFC. Our team has become mercenary trash, says John Carlos. I'd rather have Charlie Austin over Sanchez up front, says Sohail Ahmed. Well, Alexis Sanchez up front, a lot of people have asked for that. So let's see what happens with it. We need a CAM. Look how well he was doing when Mickey was there in the start of the season, says Urbai Regil. Christopher Cordova has made a contribution. He says, shout out to my girlfriend Bridget on my way to the game now. There you go. Christopher's on his way to the game. And girlfriend Bridget. I don't know whether Bridget's going with him actually. She's just got a shout out. Maybe she's not going with him. But there you go, Bridget. And thanks for the contribution, Christopher. If you ever want a shout out like that or a little message, the contributions tab is the $sign at the bottom. Make sure you leave us a little message. Matthew McFadden has done that. He says only time Darmian should wear an armband is when he's learning to swim. Not a Herrera fan, but his better choice goes to show captaincy means zero. Yeah, well, it's like Mr. Ellis said, isn't it? What happened to the longest serving player getting it? Doesn't make much sense, does it? Obviously doesn't want to use much of the youth in this game either. Mark, this season Mourinho might get used to the identity in system 3-5-2. You can fit in Lukaku and Martial, says Salim. I'll tell you what, I've got to be honest with you now. Can people in the live comments just tell me what they think about Martial? Because I've had so many people messaging me last night after the film we did saying that Martial's not going anywhere. He's staying at Manchester United. And I'm like, do you need a weatherman to tell you it's raining outside? Martial's leaving. The fact is, you may not have got the update. I said it a few minutes ago. The update was that Manchester United have not even tweeted out officially that Martial's left to go back to America. They've not said anything about it. And there is a rumour, it was in the Times last night, saying that Manchester United, that Mourinho is furious about it, and that Martial's got no intention of coming back. It doesn't look good, does it? Alex Bursel's made a contribution saying he likes the new setup. Yeah, please do drop a like on the video. Actually, we like to try and get 1,000 likes before kick-off. We use it as a superstition thing that United will win, and I think we need every little help we can get. Hugh Jones says, I don't think he's leaving. And Notorious Nerd says £100 million or bust for Martial. We won't get anywhere near it. Rick Mank says Martial is leaving. Spurs is crashing Roma, says Chavron Brown. Is it farewell for Darmian, says Satish. It could be a farewell with the captaincy. I like that comment. I like that comment there. Maybe it's a farewell for Darmian and a captaincy as part of that. Do you think we'll go in for Pulisic, says Colby Campos? Not in a million years. He's not a Jose Mourinho signing because he's nowhere near 30. You keep on saying the board doesn't support the manager, but which of his signings has delivered, says Shiri Trebati. Well, to be fair, his two signings last summer did. Matic and Lukaku did. Lindelof, okay. Do you think Jose will go for Willian now that he's free, says Shane Nally? Well, he's not free. He's £60 million, and if you watched the video last night, the rumour is that he wants him, but the club won't sign him, which, you know, I've got to agree with. I've got to agree with that, to be honest. Komoro Guy says, Mark, you watch a lot of Serie A football. What Milan player would improve Manchester United the most? Good question. Keep your eye on Kessie. Keep your eye on Kessie in the midfield. We nearly got him when he was at Atalanta. I think he's on a 2-year loan there. I believe he plays for Ivory Coast, so he's good friends with Bay, so you might see a little bit of that on the pitch. But no, I'm a big fan of his, and hopefully I think he'll have a good game. Kalinoglu, who I never get his name right, is good on the set pieces. Bonucci, obviously, is a very, very good centre-back. And to be honest with you, I wanted to see Mason Greenwood playing, but can you imagine that happening? And the golden goal says Martial is Manchester United's best player in relation to potential. I wouldn't disagree with you. Kickoff is only in 8 minutes' time, actually. So thank you for asking about that. Let us know where you're watching from, everybody, in the live comments. Let us know where you are watching from. That'll be great. Super smashing great. That will be. We are... my score prediction, I'm going to be honest with you, my score prediction probably would have been 0-0, but because it's... I actually think AC Milan might do a little bit better and score some goals, so I'm going to go 2-0 AC Milan. And I know that's negative. I really know that. You don't have to tell me how negative that is. I'm never normally like that, but I do not see that midfield unless fitness levels. Now, this is something that is very important to reiterate: is that fitness levels for us could be infinitely better than AC Milan. AC Milan, as I understand it, have played 2 domestic friendlies, so we should be roughly the same when it comes to fitness, but we shall see. But I'm going to go 2-0 AC Milan. The only saving grace for Manchester United is if our fitness levels are better than theirs, because that can make quite a big difference at this stage of the season, and that could be why we struggled a little bit against San Jose and Club America. But having said that, that might not be the reason. We changed the venue for this game, you know. And it's still not full. Not by a long way. Not by a long way is that full. Line up, please, says Ezra. Can you not see that thing next to me on the right? I mean, I just won't bother putting it up anymore if people can't be asked to read something next to them. But the lineup is Phil and Grant in goal, Bailly, Smalling as centre-backs, Darmian and Shaw as full-backs. We may be playing a 3-5-2, so Twansibi may drop back into there, which would leave Herrera and McTominay with Pereira in there, and then Mata and Sanchez up front. But that's effectively your team lineup. And I just want to pull that down there. Get my pen working. Good. That's good. Harry's in Tipperary Island. We've had another contribution here from an old brownie. He says, we couldn't beat Sevilla with a full squad. AC Milan will kill our backups. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, look, you can criticise. Robert's a big fan of Darmian, as he's already said. You can criticise Matteo Darmian as much as you like, but the reality is, even if you like him, he's not a very good player going forward, is he? Pradniar Wad Key has made a contribution. He says, why on earth is Darmian the captain? Black God says Mourinho out. Bonucci to Juventus, says Vincent Salazar. Yes, I would imagine that probably will happen, because he ain't going to come to the Premier League. But keep your eye on Bonucci by all means, and give us your thoughts. I do not think he would suit the Premier League at all, and I've said that. Aaron Doherty, it is Lee Grant. It's just my little EastEnders joke. I call him Phil and Grant because I got his name wrong when we first signed him. The game is on MUTV, so that's how we watch it here in the UK. It's on MUTV. Jensen is going for a surprising Manchester United win. Lots of people are obviously joining us now to say that, and Andy's just got up. Morning, Andy. There's a bunch of dead birds here in the chat, at least, says Krista. Maguire and Dembele of Perisic and Perisic. Reported that United were expressing interest for Barcelona centre-back Yerry Mina, says Mr. Beast. No, I'm fed up with us being linked to players who are just good in the World Cup. Pereira should be the Michael Carrick successor, says Mark J. Well, Carrick spent a lot of time on the bench under Jose, to be honest. This ground is hardly full at all as well. Nowhere near it. Absolutely nowhere near it. We're just an embarrassment on so many levels at the moment. Stunning. Absolutely stunning what's going on. I mean, you'd question how this US tour is even a success for Manchester United so far. I think the Liverpool-Manchester United game will be quite full. Some good replies here saying that California has terrible sports fans, but Liverpool, both games were jam-packed. They were playing in New York though, weren't they, Liverpool? And Inzaghi says lots of exciting games on today, maybe a factor. Also, people want to see some star players, and for now we've only got Sanchez on the pitch. Yeah, I'm not knocking by any means. I'm not knocking these fans at all. To be honest with you, you can't really have a problem with them for not turning up. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, the United Stand. We're live for every Manchester United game, but we're also live, more importantly, at 8 o'clock UK time every night. Transfer daily, any Manchester United news, we will be live with you, interactive with live comments. So get involved in the channel and have your say. You're very, very welcome. I don't know whether it's I don't know whether we're kicking off on the hour or it's 5 past the hour. I seem to think we might be 5 past the hour. So I certainly don't think we're a minute away from kickoff. But the raft of empty seats here has got to be a concern if you are Manchester United. I don't think AC Milan will be that fussed, but if you're Manchester United, you've got to be concerned by this. Really, 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 really much so. Can honestly imagine Mourinho driving our most important players out of the club with all his negativity and constant slagging of the team, says Skanefaced. It hasn't been no wins now. It hasn't uninspiring football as well, says Sir Daniel. Saturday's game is 105,000 capacity, says Kieran Brook. I mean, that's going to be embarrassing if we're outnumbered by Manchester United fans, Liverpool fans. Liverpool seems to just have a massive buzz around them at the moment. Dennis says just start the game. Players just about to come out now. So you've got Darmian and Bonucci as captains. What a contrast. An absolute legend of the game and a pigeon killer. I was separating the two there. Legend of the game Bonucci, pigeon killer Darmian. Darmian captain means this is his last game, says John Sherrell. I'm hoping that theory stands up. Let's go with that little positive theory. I like it. Let's see if that is going to be the case, because I could really buy into that, to be honest with you. But the players are coming out anyway, and let's see what's occurring. Please share the video, everybody. There's a share button underneath, so please do drop a share on the video, and give us your comments as ever, and subscribe if you are new. But share takes 2 clicks. You can share it on Twitter. You can share it on Facebook, which would be fandabidozy. One way or another, I hope there's some sort of entertainment in this game, because it's we certainly do deserve some. It's been a poor tour so far, on and off the pitch. That's so much uncertainty when we're trying to sign players, and we're trying to sign players, and you've got bloody more issues around. I mean, this Martial thing now. I'm really looking forward to listening to Jose Mourinho's press conference after this game to see what he's got to say about the Martial situation, because I think that could be quite crucial. I will be doing a match reaction, of course. Wonder if Pereira will play safe because Mourinho's told him to, says David Silva. Very good point. Very good point. Let's wait and see. Stadium looks empty, says Ramil. Jared Pesman's here. He says, makes sense. Darmian played for AC Milan. Armband could be sentimental. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hope so. Hope so. Dazza says, even with LVG, we sold out in America, which is true. Jesse says, I've joined in late, Mark, and almost threw up my dinner when I saw Darmian wearing the armband. I mean, Darmian starting full start. But let's hope we see that, there are positives. Of course there are. There are positives. And, Luke Shaw at left back. Bailly playing again. Midfield's a bit of a... Twan Seaby, good to see him playing some games. Alexis Sanchez, Andres Pereira. So there's 4 or 5 players to keep our eye on there and be positive about. Apparently we are playing a sort of a 5-3-2 as well. So McTominay, Pereira and Herrera in the midfield. Mata off Alexis Sanchez. So basically we're playing very, 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 very defensive in this game. So because there's no way it can be an attacking 5-3-2 when you've got Darmian. Kickoff is going to be in 2 minutes' time for people who are asking. Is Luke Shaw good enough? Says Sebastian United. Milan are playing a 4-3-3. Keep your eye out for Kessie. Locatelli's good. Kalinoglu, very good at set pieces. Donnarumma in goal as well. But their bench, they've got some good players on the bench. Barini, Romagnelli, who's the centre back there. Antonelli. So they've got some good players, AC Milan. A very good squad that they've brought out in relation to their actual depth. I don't think they've got many people missing because Italy weren't in the World Cup. So there we go. Hopefully I'm going to get Daniel to join me. Daniel, can you hear me?
Sure can, Mark. What's going on?
Give us your thoughts on the team, pal.
Sad state of affairs, but I'm not surprised at all.
Could be sentimental reasons. Could be sentimental reasons behind Darmian, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, it's clutching at straws now because we'll take any positive news we could get. And I guess, making him captain, Jesus Christ, what is going on?
It certainly doesn't make any sense for those people who are joining. Daniel's obviously based, I think you're in New York, aren't you, Daniel?
New York.
And I want to ask you about the crowds, actually, before the game kicks off. But people who are joining in, Darmian captain, doesn't make any sense because Jose normally goes with most experienced players, and that would be Chris
Smalling, probably,
yeah. I'm hoping maybe there's some sentimental reason. This game is in California, as I understand it, and it was going to be in a ground twice the size. They've gone for the smaller ground. They changed it to the StubHub Centre, and it's still not even half full. I mean, what's your theory as an American guy as to what that is? And we have kicked off, as you can see, the timer is below the screen. We're a few seconds in.
Probably the stadiums are empty because there's nothing interesting going on as part of it. California's pretty fair weather when it comes to their sports. Also, too, it's only about 8 o'clock over there, so people probably still getting out of work, filing in, things like that. There's also not a big AC Milan following out there. There's more so into the La Liga teams, Barcelona, Real, Atletico, teams like that. So Could be part of it. Could be just we're that boring.
I think if this game had been in New York, it would have had a bigger capacity because obviously a lot of Italian immigration into New York, and I don't know why Manchester United avoid the East Coast. I think it's just by bowing down to Mourinho, but we've got a free kick here with Mata, and it's a good opportunity to just swing one in, and being as this was the best opportunity we had in the last game, I'll just keep an eye on this for a moment because this could be the best chance to score from it. Mata with the cross, and we'll get a corner from that. Jacob Hexamar says, really don't understand why Jose plays McTominay further forward than Pereira. Height, I would say. Jose out now, says your mam. We've got a corner here with Alexis Sanchez. We'll just have this, Daniel, and then I'll get you a few thoughts on what you think about United at the moment. Sanchez with a really big cross into the box there, which Darmian's got. It's not a bad cross, actually, for once. And I think there was a penalty shout there, but we're not going to get it. Refurbished Bullbag says, Mark, I have a joke for you. What's the difference between killing a bird and being good at football? One gets you the captain's armband. The joke is our club. What's your thoughts, Daniel, then, on the situation with Manchester United at the moment?
I think we're in a lot of trouble, Mark. definitely in a lot of trouble because we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. If Mourinho does well, wins the league, you're stuck with Mourinho another year. And I say stuck in a good and bad way. He's a serial winner, and I understand the optimism when he first came in. I was optimistic when he first came in, but I just think this job's way too big for him. I think it's even bigger than he thought it was going to be, and it's just not. It's just not for him.
It's quite interesting because we're definitely playing the 3-5-2, which is a formation that I liked a lot last season. We played it in pre-season, and then we played it in November, and it worked really, really well. And what it allows is people like, it's no good for people like good shot there from McTominay, and Donnarumma makes a save low to the right. Manchester United have started off a lot quicker in this game, a lot better than we've seen on this tour so far, which is, you couldn't get much worse, which is good to see. Good shot there from, I think it might have been Herrera actually who got the shot away, not McTominay. Twansibi's not playing left back. What's happening is we're playing a 3-5-2, so Shaw and Darmian are bombing really far forward, which is giving us a bit of width. KA's right, says we've started brightly, but there could be, as I said before you came on, Daniel, there could be the saving grace for United in this is that when you look at the starting 11s, obviously AC Milan are a better starting 11, but the fitness levels of United could be ahead, which will give us a bit of an advantage.
Right. I also think too we're a team that plays down or up to our competition. I don't think in a million years we would have seen that performance against Sevilla if we had been playing Real Madrid. If we were, when we played Yeovil, we weren't great. We had some late goals. When we played Bristol, we were terrible. I think we played down to the competition. We rise to the occasion. At least last year, that was the case.
Yeah.
So you just got to see what happens. I just think they were a little disinterested in the first two preseason games, but I also see a lot of bad trends from last year. It's tough. It's tough to put a finger on it because it is preseason. You don't want to think too much into it, but the warning signs are there. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Side netting from Milan on the break there. They've just gone up a gear as well. You're right, though. I think I've always said that about Manchester United. They are a bit of a chameleon, aren't they? Where they do adapt to the opposition because we often think, we're playing Man City, we're going to get beat, and we'll adapt to that opposition. But then the next week we'll play West Brom. We're going to win that, and we'll go down gears. So, yeah. Ben Parsons says, "Are you still Mourinho in, Mark?" Well, I get tired of. I'm going to ask this of Daniel in a moment because I get tired of being asked about this because it's like. I am still Mourinho in because I do think he has to be given the 3 years, and I'm a firm believer in that, and that's pretty much where I stand on it. But people get lost in this, but you're always being so negative, and it's like, well, that doesn't mean that I'm not. It's like an old sofa, isn't it? Or it's like an old car on your drive. Just because it's got lots of things wrong with it doesn't mean that you don't have an attachment to it and you want it to still do well. So I still want Mourinho to do well at Manchester United, and I still believe that it should be given another year. A bit like the old car, if he's past his MOT, let's give him another year. But where do you stick with it, Daniel?
It's tough. I think I'm pretty much. I want to see him do well because I want the club to do well. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I want to see him fail to see him leave. I think if he's going to leave, it should be under the right circumstances, which is currently not playing good enough. That'll do it. But to say that I don't want to see them succeed or I don't want to see the team win, that would be a miss. But I just think that he's just. I don't know. I know you said you had the affinity towards him and stuff like that, but he's just never a Man United manager. He's an ex-Chelsea manager. He's just such a, I don't know, just not right for us. I think a lot of Man United fans will echo the same sentiment even when he first came in. But again, serial winner and a dark time for the club when we couldn't win anything. I guess that was the right appointment to make. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. We spoke about it on the show last night. There's obviously there's two sides to the story, and he's clearly not happy with what's going on in relation to the board at the moment, which I do agree with. I think he's right. But on top of that, I think he's culpable as well. High pressing, says AS7 Alexi. Yes, I mean, what's your thoughts in relation to the start so far, Daniel? It's not been bad from United at all. A lot more intensity.
No, I think this is the second set piece we have, and we have two corners already. Just a matter of doing something with it. We actually seem to be up for this game. Maybe it struck a chord. Some of the press conferences, as I'm sure the players are listening to them, and maybe they're a little fed up. So it's a good start. 8 minutes in.
Yeah, another free kick. I mean, as I said, it is only pre-season, and a good shot there, and Donnarumma's palmed it out. But it's good to see United actually showing a bit of intensity, because that's something that's dreadfully lacking. I think last season, certainly in January time, we were bottom of the league for distance covered, which shows a team that's not very intensive and willing to press. But started off quite well here. Alexis Sanchez with the corner, and cleared by AC Milan, but. Do you think still can't
beat the first man on those corners?
No, yeah, corner. And this is one of the big reasons I would take Perisic. Ray Madud says, guys, Mourinho hasn't been happy since the day he was appointed. They look more up for this match, says Vincent. I find it funny he was willing to move Alexi for the sake of Pereira, who is best in the midfield, says Bob. FTTW. Well, Pereira is playing in the midfield three because of the adaptation of the team. My lineup I've got there for you is actually wrong, because Twansibi's back in the midfield three in the defence, and Pereira's dropped here. So we're playing 2 up front, 3 in the midfield, and a back 5. So that's what United are doing at the moment.
I like him there, Locatelli. Christian, he's a good player. He's a defensive midfielder there for Milan. He's about 20, I think. Good player, big, fast, strong. Guys like that you should be looking for, not 35-year-olds, or trying to get Vidal on his last legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think about the transfer window? Because 2
weeks
today, we're clearly going to do some business, but people are like, Mark, what are we going to do? All I know is what was told last Thursday is that United want to get 2 deals done, potentially 3. I think potentially 3 is looking a bit unlikely now. I think it will just be the 2, but it changes on a daily basis, which just shows you what a mess this transfer window has been. Apparently, Alexandro's been given up on now, even though that deal was there to be done. It was just about United didn't want to pay the wages. I'll just read this comment and then I'll come back to you on that. Christian Medina says, I had a mate of mine say, if Mourinho won the treble, he still wouldn't want him because he's not Manchester United. Hence, I don't take the debate seriously. All right. What do you think we're going to get?
Who the hell knows? I know that we're fumbling around like a bunch of idiots like we did last year, which proved to be a problem last year and made Mourinho pretty unhappy, making him pretty unhappy this year. I think all parties are at fault. Woodward, the board, Mourinho, everyone's got handprints all over the thing. I think when it comes to Mourinho, last year, identifying Perisic and not getting him because they didn't want to roll out the money, and then you do the same thing this year where you give Woodward the list and he goes out and doesn't get the targets that you need. It's kind of like if you gave somebody something to do at your job and they didn't do it. The first time, okay, it's a mistake, but the second time, you're probably going to look for somebody else to work for you, or you're just going to do it yourself. So going away to Russia for a month probably didn't help. If I was that hell-bent on making my team better and I didn't trust the guys ahead of me, I'd go out there and make it happen. But I don't know. I really don't know. Left back's an issue. They're not going to get Sandro. They're not going to get any of these other guys, Alex Telles or Gaia. They're not going to get any of them. I can see nobody coming in. Honestly, I really can. Every day you wake up, you refresh Twitter 1 billion times and nothing. Not even a smattering of anybody coming in. So,
well, there's definitely nobody close because you're right.
Alexi's in here. That's a goal. Oh yeah.
Yeah, good goal. Sanchez 1-0. Took it well.
It's a good finish. A good flick on by Mata. That's what they should be doing every game.
We were chatting away and I sort of missed the build-up to the goal. He got into a one-on-one situation, which is unlike AC Milan. And that'll do well for the American crowd because Sanchez is the star player. And 1-0 Manchester United.
Yeah, well taken too.
It's Mata again in that sort
1-on-1.
of hole position as well. He took it well against Donnarumma, like you said, slid it into the bottom corner. McTominay gets up with the header. Mata one touch. You see, that's the thing, isn't it? It's that speed. It's that not taking an extra touch. It's boom, boom, boom. Don't allow a team to set themselves, and you create an opportunity, and it's scored by Alexis Sanchez. Whereas normally with United, we mess it up. Biggie Third says, just saw Man City versus Liverpool. I can confidently say, as a club, we have no ambition, and Jose is a dinosaur taking us nowhere. Pep has Man City kids playing top football. I don't know what the lineup was, but I presume Pep played the kids then. But we're winning 1-0 here. You know, spread a little bit of positivity. It was a good goal, good flick on by McTominay. First time ball by Mata, put Sanchez in one-on-one, and he took it.
Absolutely, it was a nice flick on, and that was Mata playing in a number 10 position where he never plays. So that's the thing. So if they start the season and he's out on the right, does that goal happen? No, because who's flicking that ball on? There's nobody going to be there. So I don't know. It's just they got guys. He said in the first press conference he doesn't put square pegs in round holes, but then he's got guys playing all out of position. It's just a mess, man.
It's a good positive to see Sanchez doing that, though, because he is one player, regardless of what the pre-season means to people. It really is important that Alexis Sanchez, especially with Martial now gone back to England, he's not left the club yet, but it's really important that, I think Jose hides behind the fact that he hasn't got all his players, but actually the players that he hasn't got is basically his midfield, which is Matic, Fred and Pogba, Lukaku up front. I mean, Lingard and Rashford, are they really first teamers if you want to win a title? Back four, well, who comes into the back four? Young, who I don't think is very good anyway. We're not missing anyone from the back four really. Lindelof's not been playing. Phil Jones is crap, and obviously De Gea's a big miss. So we're not missing, as much as Jose moans, we're not actually missing that much from the team. So it's really important that people like Alexis Sanchez, get some confidence, i.e. goals, and.
I tell you what,
1-1.
Eric Bailly ball watching right there.
Yeah,
this guy's driving the nail into his own coffin because we all want him to start at right back, but that's him ball watching, 100%.
Well, that lasted long.
It's a good finish. Look at this.
You could see it coming to mind. It's just a long ball from the back, and I think it's Twansebe.
It's actually him. It's actually both of them ball watching because he's looking at the other guy not paying attention behind him. Nobody's paying attention.
Twansebe and Smalling, really, isn't it? He spins off Twansebe, and
Bay was trying to follow the run of
Catron. I think he tries to pass him on, but you can't. To be fair, Twansebe's a kid, and the forward for Milan. I don't know if you saw who scored it, Daniel, because I was too busy watching was it Suso who scored it? Yeah,
Suso scored it, and Bay was tracking the run of Catron, the other forward, and he was all turned around. Smalling was all turned around. Twansebe's all turned around.
I'll tell you what, though, 15 minutes in, we've had 2 goals. It's better than the bloody last 2 games we've watched. So, I'm not going to be honest with you, I'm not going to moan too much about the defensive side of things because realistically, I think Mourinho's always going to sort us out defensively when it matters, but it's all about the creative side of things. But that goal, just for anybody who misses it, it's a crap goal. Let me just see if we can get this to do that. Whiteboard. No, I'll turn it off. But basically, he just it's Twansebe's man. He spins. There's a long ball over the top, and Twansebe for some reason shouts at Smalling and Bay to pick him up, but he's already sprinting, so they can't get back in time. And he bangs it home past Phil and Grant. So it's 1-1 after 16 minutes. And United's goal, definitely the better goal. Milan's equaliser, a bit of a soft goal, to be honest. Cobb Ross Aitken says, we can't blame the board for not backing Jose, then agree when maybe they say no to 60 million for Willian and Martial leaves, which Jose probably wants. Cobb, I don't disagree with you. I said that last night. I think, as Daniel said as well, I think in life people want to put the blame onto one blame source because it's just easy, and it doesn't fit the agenda to sort of share blame out. But definitely, I think in this situation, as you were saying there, Daniel, it's shared, isn't it? There's definitely a shared responsibility. I personally do agree that the club shouldn't be signing people like Willian for 60 million because he's 30 in August. But then when you hear that Jose Mourinho wanted 5 signings and he's basically got 1, that's not good enough either when you're trying to close a game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a catch-22 because everyone will say the board out and the board's not great, and Woodward out and he's not great either, and Mourinho the same thing. But if he had a yes man up there getting him his signings, Martial would have been gone already. Willian would have been in. They probably would have had a couple other pensioners in there with some young guys out. And if it's true that they are stopping those types of things from happening, then got to give them some sort of credit because they're seeing the bigger picture because they kind of it's just so strange. It's like a soap opera. They're out of touch with the fans, but they're in touch with the fans because they don't want a guy like that to go and be a world beater somewhere else, but they're not getting the players in. It's just I don't know. You think of these things happening at a small club, not a club of this size, but it's our reality now.
Justice O says, I'm all for positivity, but the question everyone is avoiding is, are we going to be getting top 4 next season? The way things are going, I don't see it. See, I still think we will get top 4. I think, it's not been a great pre-season, but everybody's right. You can have a great pre-season and then a bad season. You can have a bad pre-season and a good season. I don't see us getting anywhere winning the title, to be honest. But I think we've got more than enough to get into top 4. But having said that, there are 5 teams going for 4 spots, and that is Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea and Spurs. I don't buy into this Arsenal nonsense. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Fulham and West Ham have had a better window than them, but
Wolves have had the best window of any team in the Premier League.
Well, Wolves are definitely finishing. I think Wolves will definitely finish in the top 10, maybe even as high as 8th. I think they're going to be a really surprise package.
I think they're going to finish probably 6th or 7th. My older brother, he's been a Wolves fan for almost 20 years. It was his first game going to Wolves away, and they're doing incredible business. And they got a bunch of money, and they got an ambition. They got a manager that the players like, and so you wish that was your team, and that was us, but not since Sir Alex left. So
good turn by Sanchez there. That was brilliant, and gets the pass off as well, which is good. McTominay should have been using Luke Shaw there, but ends up with Donnarumma nearly. The interesting thing about Wolves that irritates the life out of me is that George Mendes is massively involved with them, getting them good young players and building a team for them. And he's Jose Mourinho's agent, and he's done absolutely sod all for Manchester United.
Probably pissed off about the De Gea deal or something, because I know he likes to have a piece of. I heard that as an agent, he likes to get connected with a lot of teams and their coaches, so he could try to have a piece of other, kind of like set deals up. Like, I think he's doing that right now with the Serie A team. I'm not too sure of the player, but he's trying to set up deals for them, even though he's not the player's agent. He's just a friend of the player, so he's trying to push the deal along. Shady business.
I mean, it's fair. United are doing quite well in this game because you've got Pereira as the CDM again. He's
barely been on the ball, Pereira. He's got it now. But
you've got McTominay and Herrera as the creative force, with Darmian bombing forward as a right winger. So we have done quite well, to be fair, to be competitive in a game like this.
Bombing in quotations for Darmian because he's jogging. He's got cement in his boots.
I just don't understand why he hasn't played for Menza. Corey Mangan's right row, who is injured. He's not even in America. Valencia's gone back to the UK as well. He's injured. We're probably going to see Darmian for the next couple of games as well. Another corner for United, though. Alexis Sanchez, can he beat the first man?
It's going for the goal here. Ooh.
Onto the bar, went for it. Darmian is getting forward a lot, Patrick, you're right.
was adventurous.
Yeah, I was just putting a tweet out there basically saying that Pereira playing as a CDM again. I mean, for anyone who thinks Pereira's playing games next season, you're going to be massively disappointed, because for him to be breaking into the team, he needed to be playing in one of the more advanced midfield positions, and Mourinho's just turned him into a CDM, which is a joke, really. And also, as soon as Matic is back, Fellaini's back, then Pereira's third choice for that position, so he won't even be making the bench, so... It just annoys me with Jose in relation to that, because you've got a player who's probably better than, probably should be the bench option behind Matic, Fred and Pereira. He won't even make the bench because he's been played in a crap position that he's good in, but he's far better as a more attacking player.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. He's well behind Herrera. He's well behind McTominay.
Well, he's playing in a position that for the last 2 years he's been nowhere near that for Valencia or Granada. He's not played anywhere near as a CDM. He's been an attacking midfielder, comes back to Manchester United and Jose puts him as a CDM. It's just stupid.
Yeah, well, because if he, let's say he plays him in the position where he's supposed to play and he plays well, then everyone's asking the question, well, where was this guy last year? Why'd you not include him? That made him go out on loan. If he plays this year and he plays well in those positions, well, how come he didn't give him a chance earlier? He doesn't want to be proved wrong.
A few people in the live comments saying that they feel sorry for what's his face,
the pigeon.
Yeah, rest in peace, Twansibi, for the mistake that he made. But actually, the thing about that is that it doesn't really matter about Twansibi, because he's not going to get games anyway. He'll probably be going on loan, so. The fact that, for him, this tour's good because he's getting, good experience, but he won't be anywhere near the team.
Yeah, no, not on this evidence. The past 2 games. He also, a couple minutes ago, he got turned inside pretty bad on the shot that Lee Grant was struggling to get to.
But no, to be honest, that side of the tour, I don't expect Twansibi to be part of the first team next season. I think anybody would be very surprised to see that. He had a pretty poor loan at Aston Villa, so much so that a lot of Villa fans don't want him to go back there. He will be going on loan again next season, and he just needs to get first team football, probably at a championship club. So him being on this tour is good, and getting a bit of game time is good. But looks like the ground's filled up a little bit more here anyway.
Yeah, of course. The thing about Twansibi is that, just to get your opinion on it, don't you think that he's regressed a little bit? Because under Van Gaal, I know he only played about 10 games or so, but he played well, played very well. Because look, Van Gaal's style awful, the management style awful, the football awful, but he did give confidence to the younger players, picking them every week, giving them the fortitude to go out there and apply themselves. When you have a manager that doesn't believe in you. Not saying bring Van Gaal back, far from it, but you have a manager that doesn't believe in you, it's not going to show through with the players. So I think a lot of these guys have regressed big time. There's no player development, you know what I mean?
It's a good point. Milan are just on the attack here, but United have got it clear. The interesting thing about a good break here, come on, find the pass. Took too long, Sanchez there, but it's a good pass and a good save. Oh, God. Herrera should have scored. I think Sanchez had a pass to Mata. He should have played it a lot quicker. Typical Sanchez, takes too many bloody touches, but still manages to be fair to him, he does find a chance for Herrera, but there's a pass to put Mata in. He ignores it. Feeds Herrera. Herrera should score. Hits it straight at Donnarumma, and the follow-up puts it wide. But a good break from United there, to be fair. Good break. And we've got a corner out of it as well. Good football, says AS7 Alexi. That's what I want, you Portuguese moron. No need for any of that. Herrera should have scored, said Samuel. Yeah, I agree.
It's just, how come, it's just funny, like in the beginning of the year last year, 4-0, 3 straight weeks or 4 straight weeks. And then you flick a switch and all of a sudden that's off and you can't get it back. It's so strange. I mean, like you say it almost every show. It's just so many things he does are just so strange. Doesn't make any sense. Not endearing himself to the fans. Not. It's like he doesn't care. It's just so weird.
Well, refurbished ball bag just says, "Where is the old Mourinho? Up and down the technical area, passionate. Do you think he's chosen to change his attitude because he's fed up with the English media?" A header there from McTominay straight at the keeper.
Could be. I remember when they went to play Liverpool. The Steven Gerrard slip-up game, and running up the touchline and slapping the badge and getting everybody G'd up in the crowd, and that's just gone. That hasn't been there since the first game he took over at Man United, and it's probably never going to be there. It's just, I think that just Chelsea was his club. That's his club. That's where he has the affection, and to come to a direct rival and induce the same passion, I just don't think it's possible. It's just fake, That's the way I look at it anyway.
That's a good point, that is. I've never really thought of it like that, because we as Manchester United fans, it's the be-all and end-all, and everybody should be over the moon with it. And, actually he was very passionate about Chelsea, wasn't he? And all those years at Chelsea, you're obviously going to build up a bit of love for that club, and not necessarily for the rivals at that club, but... corner for AC Milan here. Anyway, Manchester United have been a lot better. Red Jedi just said United are playing a lot better, and I don't think that's a surprise that the players are playing better in a 3-5-2. Daniel was just talking about the start to last season and how we were winning 4-0 and then we switched it off. And I always think with the 3-5-2, we were brilliant in November playing the 3-5-2, certainly against Arsenal and Watford. Then we played Man City and we went back to the 4-3-3 formation and played crap and lost, and he never played 3-5-2 again, and it was very successful. So I like the 3-5-2. I remember us playing it away against Milan as well. Sorry, not Milan, Moscow. We played it there as well, but nothing comes to the corner for Milan. Half an hour gone, 1-1, but definitely a massive improvement from what we've seen on the tour so far from United, and as a spectacle, it's not been a bad game to watch. It's much quicker, which is good to see.
Getting beaten in the air on the corner kick. 2 guys. Yeah. What do you think about next?
Milan in a normal game? It was a high boot by Bay, but I think the refs, sensible. Sebastian United is probably the best 25 minutes Darmian's played in a United shirt.
Yeah, since he came. Actually, no. When he first came here, the first 3-4 games he played, I was like, wow, look at this guy, such a calm defender, so smooth on the ball. What the hell happened to him?
No, I really liked him when we first got him. In fact, Van Gaal used to really annoy me because he'd have him in and out of the team, and I was like, well, you've bought him to be your right back, and
you'd play him on the left too, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, a few people were saying in the live comments Twansibi's not having a good game. The interesting thing going back to Twansibi is at the end of Jose Mourinho's first season when we won the Europa League, he was playing Twansibi in the last few games as a CDM against the likes of Spurs and Arsenal away from home, and Spurs and Arsenal were putting out their full teams. And we lost both those games, but Twansibi played fantastically well. In fact, I remember him playing against Sanchez and putting him in his pocket. Then the next season, he went with McTominay, who we'd never heard of, and Twansibi wasn't getting a look in. So yeah, going back to what Daniel was saying there about regression and development, that I found that weird as well. It's another one to add to the list that he sort of had Twansibi involved. He was doing really well, and then last season didn't use him at all and went with McTominay. United 19 says Jose only at the club for a paycheck and doesn't care about United or the young players. They're having a drink break at the moment. And then there's a manager who's very passionate. You couldn't fault him for that, Gattuso.
I know, absolute animal, and played for AC Milan, so he knows what the club's about. Do anything he can to make them successful. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one because it's got to get better than it was last season. I mean, second was just such a false dawn that was. We were terrible.
My car says Jose doesn't look happy at all. I mean, to be honest with you as well, the formation change is good on a pre-season tour. You should be trying out different formations, but the back three in Smalling, Bay, and Twansibi don't look particularly organised or knowing what they're doing. But nice to see that, as I said before, that unless they're just showing certain sections of the ground, it has filled up. I don't know whether that's an American sports phenomenon, Daniel, whereby games fill up sort of when the game started or something.
Yeah, well, especially in cities that have warmer weather. It's the same. It's very true also for Florida. Go down there and people don't start showing up till halftime because the weather's nice. They're doing stuff after work. They're hitting the happy hour. You know, they'll stroll in when they stroll in. But New York's really not like that. Everyone kind of just, you know, if the game's at 7, they'll be there at 7, 6:30, pack out the stadium. You know, it's a little more laid back in California, less to worry about.
Yeah, Krista Sebastian Thompson says LA crowd is always late. Yeah, well, it was definitely late for this game because it looked like it wasn't going to be sold out, but it's looking pretty full now, which is good to see because they'd already downgraded this from a stadium double the size. So that's good to see. I'm pretty sure Michigan, Liverpool, Man United, 105,000 apparently, Daniel. That'll probably be full as well. Mohamed Kibria, thanks for the contribution.
Yeah, just short of 110,000 there, and they sold out when they played Real a couple of years ago. So I don't see why not against Liverpool. Probably sell out. Probably, I think the tickets are close to being sold out already if they aren't already. And America's big with the I know in England they have StubHub for a couple teams. I think Everton uses it, but America, big secondhand ticket dealer, StubHub. So probably be flooded with tickets the day before, you know.
It'd be interesting to see what the split is between United and Liverpool fans, to be honest.
When they played Real Madrid there was a ton of Man United fans there, not too many Real Madrid fans. But Liverpool fans probably split the stadium or close to it.
Fred the Red says Pereira is a CM in my opinion and McTominay is more of a CDM. I agree. I'm not a massive fan of McTominay anyway.
Nah. Just nothing stands out about him, you know. He's just kind of, I mean, nothing really stood out about Darren Fletcher either, so I guess that's kind of misguided to say, but there was some pace about Darren Fletcher's game. He moved around the field a little bit. I mean, you know, McTominay is not great at one thing, but he just doesn't. I mean, if he was the player he is, but had a little more pace than him, I could see maybe his reason for being in the team. But he's so slow.
Everything's very simple as well, isn't he? I mean, he's controlled the ball there, and somebody just scoots in and gets him. I'd rather he played than Fellaini, but he's. I don't rate him.
Nah, me neither. I think Pereira's gonna wind up leaving because can't get guaranteed game time. Not in the position he's playing in, and or what'll happen is we'll keep him on. He'll play about 8 games next year.
Mr. Johnson says McTominay is just decent, not special. United scored 30 minutes ago, says Jaden Gaming. Yeah, started off 1-0 to United. Sanchez running through 1-on-1, and then a long ball from AC Milan put Suso through 1-on-1 pretty much straight after, and it is 1-1. Do you think Fred will play versus Liverpool, says Michael Shushkevich? No, he won't, because he's not even part of the squad yet. I thought that him and Lindelof and De Gea were going to be part of this squad this week, and they're not. I think Fred put something out on his Instagram yesterday saying last day in Brazil, so he's got to get to America, which will probably be today or tomorrow. United probably won't train today till tomorrow now. I don't know whether Fred's there tomorrow, but he ain't going to play against Liverpool when he's had 2 days training. So I think I'd be very surprised if Fred plays against Real Madrid, to be honest. So yeah, that's disappointing, especially when you've got people like Bernardo Silva coming back early to train with Man City, even though he was part of the World Cup. I would have liked to have seen that from Fred, being as he sat on his arse for the whole World Cup, but I suppose you can't force him.
Christian Eriksen was playing in today's game, and they went out in round of 16, right?
Yeah.
So, he was out there. I think he played the half, I think he played the second half. So,
Which means he must have been in training for at least a week.
Yeah, it's about wanting to come back. It's about wanting to integrate. Who knows what the hell's going on? But yeah, it's just you see these other teams that all their players are back, and these guys, half of this team, I don't see them even being involved next year. Pereira, I don't see being involved. I don't see obviously Twanzibi's not going to be involved. Shaw is not going to play very much. Armin might be sold. So it's what is that? 4 out of the 11 players on the team.
Yeah,
but there's a difference. I was going to say there's a difference between that and Spurs fielded a young team today, but it's to get their guys experience to then maybe go on loan or to be squad players. We give these young guys a chance, and it's like, what's really their future? They're going to go on loan? Like, is Chong going to go on loan? Probably not. He's going to have another season in the reserves. He'll rip it up. But, like, what's the benefit to that?
I think Shaw's been very quiet in this game. He's got the ball at the moment. There we go. Could be a good work goal here. No. Pereira will play, says Ryan Lackman. I'd love to come back and expand on where Pereira is going to play for Manchester United next season, because I can tell you for a fact now the midfield will be Matic, Fellaini and Pogba with Fred, so that's your 4, and if anything goes wrong with them it will be McTominay and then Pereira, so he's 6th choice midfielder. He won't even be making the bench. Andres Esquivel says, I haven't caught you live till now. I will never forget the face you made Monday when the caller said he got information from Terry. Yeah, well. Was that the Tony Cruz to Manchester United rumour that nobody's bloody heard of? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can't hide it. I'm watching it on MUTV, Colby. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner there's a little United Stand logo. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're live at 8 o'clock, as people are mentioning there. We're live at 8 o'clock UK time every night. We have a transfer daily that goes up at 7 AM every Monday to Friday, but tomorrow morning it's going to be midday because it's going to be virtually set 7 AM by the time this is finished. So I'm going to put the transfer daily back to a live show at midday, but and any of the transfer news will be live, so get involved. Live comments, we have Skype shows, loads of things, which is where people may have heard Daniel before. He often calls in on the Skype show. So loads to get involved with if you love Manchester United or not. Bottom right hand corner, subscribe, get your notifications on. You're very, very welcome. Moon Boy says Pereira will play centre defensive midfield in quicker games. I often wonder I love the optimism of those sort of comments, Daniel, but I often wonder where do people actually where do they get this optimism from? Do they forget who's in charge? Because Pereira will play CDM in the quicker games. He's never going to drop Matic. Never going to drop Matic.
It's actually in the quicker games it'll probably be slower. So he'll probably play with Fellaini and Matic back there because he wants to stop the opposition from being so quick against his back 4. So yeah, it's like you said, you don't know where they're getting. Like the optimism's good. I wish I could be that positive, but
no, I love the optimism. I absolutely personally just do not see it. But it's like I've read a lot of people over the summer saying that Luke Shaw will play left back. Not a chance. Not a chance. Ashley Young will be left back next season because Mourinho doesn't actually like Luke Shaw that much. And it's late by Bay.
Yeah, it's like the Martial thing too. Everyone thinks he'll stay because the time is running out for him to move to a Premier League team at least. So that's not going to happen either.
I like the optimism. I like I said, I wish I could be that positive, but it's just you got to see the writing's on the wall, especially with the manager we have. He doesn't really pull a lot of punches. If you don't like it, he don't like you.
No, what I found funny about that is that a lot of people were putting out pictures of Martial looking happy in training and saying, "Oh, he's definitely staying." It's like, I remember the last job I had where I handed my notice in, I was walking around smiling as well, because I knew I was leaving. So it's you can read it one of two ways, but I think the most telling thing, as I said before, is Martial's agent came out and said that he wants to go. Well, this is the man who's in charge of his career, so I think when he says that, you pretty much know he wants to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all because of Jose.
Oh yeah, 100%. And for that, I gotta say, a lot of people say, who cares? And he's so moody and all, whatever they have to say. But the bottom line is this: when they signed him as a teenager, he played forward for the United the whole season. Everybody loved him. Most exciting player on the field. The only thing that's changed is that we've got a new manager in that doesn't believe in him the way Van Gaal believed in him, or the way the fans believed in him when he first came. Darmian's going to get a nosebleed up here.
I know he's done well there.
Unreal cross, that is.
He played like Cafu there.
Yeah,
And then he played like my cat with the cross. It was
and then he realised who he was.
Yeah. Yeah, he got it in the right back position, did a 1-2, bombed forward, and then was back to Darmian with the crossing. It was terrible, as Will Bradford says. But I've seen a few people saying that Luke Shaw has been disappointing. I with all due respect, I think Darmian's been better than Luke Shaw tonight, which sort of shows you what sort of game Luke Shaw's having, really, which is disappointing. Considering that he's playing as effectively the left winger because he's playing in a back five, but he's not got forward and done very well at all. I don't know.
Not standing out.
No,
not standing out enough. Kind of going unnoticed. Not bad, but not doing anything. I mean, and that's been the case with every game he's played on this tour. He hasn't. It's like he's there, but is he doing enough to even get mentioned? No. And not making any mistakes, but not getting mentioned either. So it's not making his case any stronger.
See, my theory on Luke Shaw as well is that he's the reason we're not signing Alexandro, because I think United probably expected to be selling Luke Shaw, which frees up wages, which brings some money in, and then you use that money to, get Alexandro in. And Luke Shaw's obviously come back and said, I'm not going, because he knows in a year's time he goes for free and makes a load of money, and he's like, I'll just sit it out for a year. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I love Luke Shaw's dedication. I love the fact that he's here to try and win his place back. And I don't think they're looking beyond. Actually, there's something a bit more cynical than that. That Luke Shaw, quite rightly, has been annoyed by Mourinho and is like, I'm not going to go and get money for this club. I'm going to go next summer when I'll still only be 23 and I'll be free and I'll earn a load of money out of it. I think that's what Luke Shaw's doing. There's zero chance of him being left back this season, and because of him staying, we won't be getting Alexandro. That's how I feel about it. Ritesh Snake has made a contribution. Thank you, Ritesh. Stu Marlin says Luke Shaw seems happy to be at United, enjoy the benefits, but doesn't have the commitment. Yeah, I think that's pretty right. I mean, I don't know what what's your opinion on the left back situation?
Well, the thing about not getting Sandro because Luke Shaw is there, I mean, Mourinho put Schweinsteiger in the reserves because he had no place for him. So it's not beyond possibility to still get Sandro with the money. Should we use it and then do something with Luke Shaw? That's on him. But I think he is causing the discord because he doesn't want to leave. He's digging his heels in, which is it's kind of a tough situation because he's not going to play. It's not like he's a starter who's digging his heels in, like, I'm getting minutes and I want to stay at this club. He's not playing at all, but he wants to stay, so that kind of makes him look like a leech. I don't know. You're 23 years old. You came here, what was he, 18?
Yeah.
When you came to Man United? And,
yeah.
Never really took off, so. Neither is Phil Jones. He came here as a teenager, too. He's done nothing.
He'll be here till he's a pensioner. You can just tell he's just going to hang around like a bad smell, isn't he? But
him and Fellaini are going to get testimonials.
Definitely. I don't understand why Sandro will want to come to Manchester United after being in a winning team, says Demba Dibba. I think that the Premier League is financially a better option than Serie A. And he didn't have a great season at Juventus last season. And Manchester United's still a big pull, but I think, to be honest, he might be thinking, well, Ronaldo's at Juventus now. If I'm the first choice left back, I might win a Champions League medal. And he certainly isn't going to do that at United. I mean, I just think we've absolutely got no chance of winning the Champions League next season. And I think I'm almost at that point with the league. But in relation to this game, it's 1-1 at the moment. We're just about to hit half time. a very equal half, Daniel, really. But both goals quite similar and both teams sort of cancelling each other out.
Yeah, probably best player of the half right now on both sides. Probably Alexis Sanchez doing it all. Had the goal. He's put some good crosses in. He's played some good 1-2s. Good link up with Mata playing number 10. Shaw average. Darmian, the captain. What can you say? Back four is kind of all over the place, but they settled in a little bit. Bay's probably. I will say this about Bay in this game. He's probably the one. Twanzebe aside, because he's a kid. Bay's probably the one guy back there that's kind of all over the shop. It's kind of just like it's almost like he plays like how you would play FIFA or Pro Evo. If the attacker's coming at you with the ball, you just run after him. It's kind of what he does. There's no really position or rhyme or reason to where he actually stands on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Alexis Sanchez for me. Sorry, I was just stretching there, so I took myself out of the equation. Alexis Sanchez for me is playing in a more. I think the problem with Alexis Sanchez, in short, to get my words out, is that he plays in a team that's when he plays on the left, he's got no discipline on the left. He wants to wander and get involved. And the good thing about tonight, and it's one of the first time we've seen Alexis Sanchez in a position like tonight, is that because he's playing in a more attacking, basically the furthest player forward. It's like Lukaku. You've got that freedom to come left, come right, stay central, and that really works well for Alexis Sanchez. Whereas when he's our left-sided player, he almost does everything apart from stay left. So I've liked that freedom that Alexis Sanchez has had tonight, and it's certainly I would agree with you. I think he's been the better player on the pitch for Manchester United so far.
Yeah, so he's had a really good link up with Mata too. But that's the thing that's, with Spanish-speaking players, they all kind of play similarly, especially attacking players. Always pretty diminutive, like a David Silva, get the ball, 1-2s, running behind. They all kind of on the same wavelength when they play together. But when they do play together on the field, Alexis is all the way out left and Mata's all the way out right, and they really never have the chance to link up like that, even though Alexis is wandering all over the field. Anyway.
Give us your thoughts in the live comments as to how you think the game is going so far. I think, from my point of view, I think it's been quite an equal game. I think interesting that Manchester United playing the 3-5-2. I certainly think it's led to us playing more on the front foot. I mean, you've got Darmian at times thinks he's Cafu. Certainly been the better fullback. He's got forward a hell of a lot. We've not gone down the left-hand side much at all. I don't know whether that's because we're weak down the left-hand side. And that could be a good point, actually. If you look at the right-hand side, you've got Darmian, obviously, but Bay's the right-sided centre-back. Herrera is the right-sided midfield. And then Mata and Sanchez will provide the support for whoever's bombing forward. But if you look at Luke Shaw's side, he's got Twanzebe as the left-sided centre-back and McTominay as the left-sided midfield. And there's a big difference there. And I think that's maybe why we're using the right more than we're using the left.
Yeah, could be, probably. I mean, not much there on the left anyway. Shaw's not really making himself known. McTominay's out there, and he's not going to really get forward. So there's not much going on there. But then you have the link up between Herrera and Mata, and yeah, probably why we're using that side more. But Pereira hasn't been involved enough for me. Not his fault either. Just he's playing in a kind of a redundant position, not getting on the ball enough, and not seeing the best of him.
No, I do not understand why we play him in that position, to be honest, because it just doesn't make sense to me as to why we do that. But we do what we do, and hopefully in this. I mean, do you think he'll bring any of the youngsters on, or do you think that's unwise against a team like Milan?
No, I bring them on because they're not going to play during the season. So, you already know what you're getting with most of the guys out there. I'd say I'd probably keep Alexis on because he's playing his best game. He's probably playing his best game in the United shirt, to be honest, in a preseason. But yeah, bring the kids on. Keep on a couple of the senior players. I'd say probably keep on Pereira. Keep on Alexis. Get everybody else on. Get the youngsters on because they're not going to play during the season. So you might as well give them some minutes now.
Yep, let's have a look what people are saying in live comments. Breaking news: United just signed Willian, says the goat. I think we all know that that's not true. United certainly wouldn't be signing a player when they're playing a game. Worst United team in years, says John Iarty. If you want to laugh at half time, check out Pep and Klopp argument at the presser. This is Michael Duffy. Well, if anyone wants to let us know in the live comments what happened with that, because I was catching some Z's there. Did you see it, Daniel? Are you aware what that's all about?
No, I didn't see the press conference at all. Probably because I knew he'd just be sitting up there pissed off like he's been for the past couple.
KJ Rodriguez says Darmian's playing well because it's an Italian team. The fact that he's playing well hopefully means we're going to sell him, but the fact that he's playing well will probably mean that Jose wants to keep him. Bay is crap at headers, massively overrated, says John Sherrell. I think Jose will see that Pereira is miles better than McTominay, says KB. Oh, I think that's optimism, KB. I mean, has he ever figured out that Fellaini's crap? No, he hasn't. Remember, if you're new, subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, there's a little icon there. You can subscribe and get involved with the channel. Maybe Matic for McTominay, says Rahul Khan. The sad thing is it will be Matic for Pereira because Pereira is playing in McTominay's position. Mark, I can feel my legs. Oh, wait, that's the table, says Jules King. Bay is sleeping, says Francesco Calmalari. I mean, interesting comments. I mean, he doesn't get much mention at all. I know some people aren't a very big fan of Chris Smalling, but Chris Smalling came out with some interesting comments. I think it was before this game actually, saying that it's usual that Manchester United get linked to centre backs, but he gets picked whenever he's fit, and he's the one for Manchester United. So. Do you think Smalling will be our starting midfielder next season? Centre back. And what are your thoughts on Smalling? He's not
probably be him and Jones again. I think Smalling's a good squad player. I think he's a good backup option. I think playing a center backs like I know John Sherrill said that he doesn't like Bay in the air and thinks he's overrated, but I think everyone who's watched Eric Bay over the last 2 years knows that he's an unbelievable defender. He just needs to tighten up with the mistakes. But he's 23, 24, so there's time to grow into that. Lindelof's very young too. He's 23, I think. Smalling's a good squad player, but he's not a starter. Not for me. Not on my team. And Jones is definitely not a starter. He's not even a Man United player, to be honest with you. I'm not too sure if Smalling's a Man United player really either. But as a backup, I think he is, but not a first team.
I'm just trying to get the fixtures. Got that. Oh, this is annoying me now. I want to get the stats up on the screen, but I've got an issue with. There we go. No, that's not it. Smalling is crap, says Ronald, and Pereira 15 games next season, mark my word, says Moonboy. I tell you what, Moonboy, if you are right about that, I would be really, really pleased, but I do not see it happening at all. I really don't. Right. That's what I wanted. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the app that I use for the game, and we are 1-1, obviously, but this is the interesting bit here in relation to the sort of ebb and flow of the game, this little graph with the red and the greens. So the blue bits would be Manchester United, the green bits would be AC Milan, and if it's really high, it shows you that we've had high possession. So, in the context of the game, it's certainly not been San Jose or Club America. There has been interest in it, and United have had a good bit of period of pressure, and AC Milan have, so it's quite equal at half-time, which I think we're all happy about. Possession-wise, 54% for AC Milan, 46% for Manchester United. Total shots, 10 and 10. Shots on target, we've actually had more, 8. I can't really remember 8, but there you go. Shots off target, obviously they've had more than us. Corners, we've had more corners than them. So, goalkeeper saves, their keepers made more saves than us. We've made more fouls than them. So it's been quite interesting the way that the game has gone so far from a Manchester United point of view. And the second half for me is going to be the interesting point as to whether we make any substitutions or not, because I would like to see Chong or Gomez come on, but I just wonder because it's AC Milan whether he'll actually do that. We'll have to see, won't we? Roy Keane is Mark being trying to get your view on Mata, says Ritesh Knight. Yeah, I mean, good point. Happy to talk about Mata for a moment. I mean, I think Daniel touched on it yourself, didn't you, Daniel? That he plays as a right midfielder, but you can't play as a right midfielder if you're an attacker in this formation because your width comes from your fullbacks, and you get Mata in a more central position. He created the goal with that one-touch pass. I seem to remember the last game of the season, didn't he score from a Carrick pass as well, which was just very quick. And I just think it's no surprise that teams like Liverpool and Liverpool and City and Spurs score a lot of goals because they're quick in the final third, and United always want to take an extra touch. And I think what I've liked from Sanchez and Mata, there's a good understanding, but they've moved the ball really, really quickly together, and that causes teams problems, especially teams like AC Milan, who've got people like Bonucci, who's a great centre-back, but if you move the ball quickly, they struggle.
Yeah, 100%, and it's so confusing as to why they don't do that more often, because they have a pacey attack. I mean, take, Matt out of the equation because he's really not a right midfielder, and let's say you're starting with, it never happened, but you're starting with Sanchez on the right and Martial on the left, or Rashford on the left, Lukaku up front. That's a nice pacey attack with some speed in it. And even when they're on the field, it's slow. It's part of the reason because they don't get the ball fast enough from the midfield. But even when they get on the ball, they're not trying to beat anybody or take anybody on. It's, they check the ball back and they pass it square. Or it just doesn't, United have good forwards and they can counter and they can break and they can play 1-2s and they can play fast, but they choose not to.
Trading Cards and More says, it's nice to see us play on an Italian side. I'm hoping for a Chong winner. I love seeing how the youth play with the senior players. Hashtag Insomnia Reds. I mean, to be honest with you, I do watch a lot of Serie A, and I've always said this, and I've even had people who are Italian sort of send me messages really not very happy but I'll say it again. It probably does suit United because the Italian league is slow. It really is slow compared to La Liga and the Premier League. And look, the Italian league used to be the best in the world when I started watching it. That's why I started watching it after Italia 90. But it's always been very slow. And so it probably suits United because we probably look a bit quick because Milan are a little bit slower than what they'd be in the Premier League. So, but it'd be not. You know what? It's only pre-season, but for what we've got to come, Daniel, because we have got Liverpool on Saturday. They have got all their players basically, Mane, Salah, their new signings. That's going to be a really difficult game for us. And then we've got Real Madrid, which I don't know what Real Madrid team's going to be like, to be honest. But Liverpool's going to be a tough game on Saturday. So it'd be nice to get out of this game with a bit of a confidence boost because that Liverpool game is undoubtedly going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a tough game, and they fielded a strong team tonight. Salah scored, Mane scored, so they're not messing around, not even in the preseason. So they're going to be up for it. They're going to try to get a psychological edge over us. Despite what Mourinho's going to say after the game or before the game, whenever you play Liverpool, it's a big game. So
I'm sure he'll park the bus. Pete Phillips says Jones plush cash for Maguire and I'll drop him off. I don't think I'd love that. I think it's the most logical centre back for us to get rid of. But I guarantee that Phil Jones will be here next season because, like Fellaini, he for some reason is a favourite of Jose Mourinho's. And despite costing us cup finals, despite costing us points here, there, and everywhere, he is a fan favourite. So not a fan favourite. He's a favourite of Jose Mourinho. Sorry. So yes, I don't think that's going to be any change at all. I don't think I'd be surprised if we make any subs at half time as well. People are asking about that. I'd be very surprised if we do.
Yeah, I think they'll be coming probably like 60, 65 minutes. Not going to do any more changes really where it's, you got the whole team and you bring on 11 guys or 8 guys. It's just, that was done the last 2 games. So
we're very close to the second half now. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and please do share the video if you're not. We've got nearly 4,000 people watching, which is very, very, very good, and I applaud you all because It is early in the morning for some people, which is not a reason to be watching it. You should be getting up if you're UK based, because our fans around the world do it all season. But maybe it wasn't the most inspiring game to be watching. So well done to everybody who is. It's not. It's been worth it. I think it's been worth it. I mean, I would have watched it anyway. So, you know, I've watched plenty of bad United games, but I like the 3-5-2. I wish the 3-5-2 happened a little bit more. I don't know why it disappeared last season. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of it next season, because we're not a team that plays with width anyway. So, but I think if we are going to, the one thing I would say is if we are going to play with a 3-5-2, Daniel, then we certainly do need to go and sign ourselves a centre-back in the next couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think 3-5-2 suits us well, because despite having fast players, we don't play fast. So the 3-5-2 kind of gives you a little more going forward, gives you some protection in the midfield. Get 3 center backs back there. We've played well when we've used the 3-5-2 in preseason last year and in the season last year. But we're hell bent on that 4-3-3, which does nothing for us because we don't have the players to play that type of 4-3-3. So.
Andrew Southwick says, what is your honest prediction for points total and place in the table this year? I think points total was very difficult to predict. I mean, United got a very good points total last year, and if you looked back on that, you'd say, well, that's normally, we normally win the league with that, but it was a bad league. It was a bad league. There was some bad teams in it. So points total, I can't really give you. Position, I think we'll be in the top 4. I do. I'm not. I know some people are. We're going to struggle for top 4. If it goes bad, we might do. But I still think that we've got enough about us to get top 4. I think the titles. We're not a title winning team at the moment, and I don't think in 2 weeks we can make the signings to make us a title winning team. Unless we're going to sign 3, I don't think we can make the signings to make us a title winning team. But I do think we'll be top 4, because actually I think the problem with United I see is the midfield, and I do think that Matic, Pogba, Fred, that's the midfield 3 I would play, and I think it can make us a much better team. And I think hopefully he will use people like Pereira. You've got Herrera as a backup as well. So the midfield is where it's all at. That's where it went wrong last season, and hopefully it will go right this season. But we have also still got that absolute clown running around our midfield as well, who's always going to be a hindrance and is always going to get picked, which is Fellaini. So that's an issue that's not going away. But I think we'll get top 4. I mean, Daniel, as of now, are you confident we'll get? Where do you think we're going to come?
No, I don't think we're going to finish in the top 4 this year. It's not trying to be negative. There's no confidence. The manager breeds no confidence in this team. There's no, listen, the whole reverse psychology, yeah, you guys need to play better. That might have worked 20 years ago with guys that, were real men, and, that could have resonated with them. But it's at a different age. You're at an age where more players need arms around the shoulders than a kick up the ass. And he's trying to kick the whole squad up the ass, and it's not going to work. It's just going to backfire. I think he's going to be gone by Christmas, maybe sooner.
Well, there you go. It's good to get both sides, isn't it? Because I'm saying we'll get top 4, and then Daniel's saying not. And to be honest with you, that's probably about right, because I've seen probably 50% of fans thinking, yeah, we'll be fine for top 4, and 50% thinking we're going to struggle for it. So, it's probably about right. Joel Pereira's come on. The game has kicked off second half. You can see the timer below. But Joel Pereira's come on, half each between him and Grant. So that's what we'd expect. Lingard must be replaced by a better player, says Clixton Ripper. I mean, the positive is, if United can get a right midfielder, the positive is that on paper we could play, if we played a 4-3-3, we'd have Pogba, Matic and Fred as a midfield 3, Sanchez, Lukaku and a new right midfielder as a front 3, and that is a better team. And then the problem is we haven't if hypothetically you've got De Gea in goal, we know Valencia will be the right back, you sort your centre backs out and play a pairing that's going to play every week, you put a left back in. Oh, we're in down the right here. It's is that Darmian down the right? Good cross. Good. Oh, I thought he'd scored.
He's looking for a new contract, Darmian.
Yeah. Good bit of play there. Sanchez followed it wide.
Yeah, started with Pereira too. Fed the ball into Alexis's feet, swung it out. It all came from Pereira actually picking up the ball in front of the back 4, but
Yeah, Sanchez, good bit of play there, and that's not a bad ball by Darmian. Probably played the cross of his career there. Ritesh Naik says, I'm one of those listen every day but can't ever live due to the time difference. Love what you do, keep it going. 250,000 subscribers, glory Manchester United. McTominay's just hit the keeper, so good start from United again. We've come out firing, which is good to see.
Yeah, he got the rebound right to him, and he fluffed the rebound. But,
a bit like Herrera in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah,
smacked it straight to the keeper, then the rebound on his wrong foot messes it up.
Yeah, good start though.
Akeem says McTominay's like a slug. He's like watching in slow play, to be honest.
Romagnoli also came on for Milan, Mark. I know that they were looking. There was some paper talk about him possibly being an option. He just got subbed on at halftime. So
Here's Luke Shaw down the left for once. He's got a lot of space. Let's see what he can do. Too many touches and gives it away. He's been. I tell you what, he's been awful this game.
Yeah, hasn't been playing well at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the opportunity for Luke Shaw, isn't it? He was always going to probably play every single game, and I'd like to see Mitchell play there, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, people saying, Shaw will get games this year and he'll play, and what has he done against, in 100 and 200 plus minutes of football so far on this tour? Almost. What has he done? Against pretty mediocre opposition. I mean, Milan finished 6th last year. He's not standing out. He's not doing anything to impress anybody. Definitely not Mourinho's. He's not going to be impressed by any of this.
Well, Chad says Luke Shaw is simply not that good. When will everyone realise this finally? I spoke about Luke Shaw in the first half, but if you look around social media, there's so many people, sort of Luke Shaw fanboys. Oh yeah, go for it, Luke. This, that, and the other, and he's a bit of a divider. But the reality is, it's what he does on the pitch that matters. And he's started the last 3 games for United in pre-season, and I know people will say it's only pre-season, but this is a player who's trying to, prove everybody wrong. He should be tearing pre-season up, and the reality is there's a lot of people in pre-season who are just feeling their way into it. So that if you are somebody who's playing 100%, you should stand out. Look at Pereira. He sees it as an opportunity and he's stood out. Whereas people like, who know their first teamers will just be going through the motions, getting themselves ready for the new season. But Luke Shaw, he should be standing out as the best player on the pitch because he's trying to prove a point, and he's not. He's just doing okay or average. And I think Jose's probably right when it comes to Luke Shaw. To be honest, he's I don't think he's the left back option, which means Ashley Young next season as left back. And the problem with Ashley Young is he's right footed. You've got to have balance.
Yeah, and he's not a left back. Apart from not being left footed, he's not a left back, and it's just just so strange. Again, like we were saying earlier, just he only wants specialist Jose, but he's got a winger playing left back, and there's a guy who coached Ashley Cole. He's had good players play left back for him, and now he's it just doesn't make any sense unless I think everybody kind of wishes that Luke Shaw got back to the form that he had before he had the leg break, and it just, bad injury, but he's just never been the same since then. And I just think that was, what was that, 4 years ago now? So,
and it was a bad injury as well,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Maybe he's never going to get over that. Maybe he's never going to get back from that. So.
Elliot H says, but Mark, you want Sanchez on the right, but he's left footed. I've said this before. Maybe you missed the show, Elliot, but don't talk to me about, there's a world of difference between a fullback being wrong-footed and an attacking midfielder being wrong-footed. The reality is there's an obsession in the modern game with the inverted winger where you play a left footer on the right and a right footer on the left. Martial's right footed, but it's totally different with a left back and a right back. You should not have left backs who are right footed and right backs who are left footed. It just doesn't work because you need the balance. You need the balance, and it's not just about on the ball, it's defensively as well. If you've got a right footer playing at left back, then their strong side is going to be showing them inside, which is dangerous when you're playing up against the right or left footer, because a lot of them can go both ways, and Ashley Young falls victim of this all the time. You need that left footer because you need that balance in the back four, because you need somebody who can naturally keep the width. Ashley Young can't keep the width on the left side because he always wants to come inside to his right side, which makes us narrow. That's why you get very few fullbacks who are wrong-footed, but you get a lot of attacking midfielders are wrong-footed because they'll switch sides and they'll cut inside and they'll make the pitch narrow in the attacking point. But as a fullback, you've got to be left-footed, and Ashley Young isn't.
Yeah, he always has to check back when he gets the ball out there. When he makes the overlap, he always checks back, and then he's checking back into the position that the left midfielder or the left winger just gave him the ball in. So now there's two guys standing on top of each other.
Camyar says, why are we not going for Lucas Hernandez as left back? I don't think it's that Manchester United are looking at need to go for different left backs. Alex Sandro was pretty much there to be done, and like Perisic last summer, Woodward doesn't want to pay the fee. So we've got the left back, we don't want to pay the money for it. So, you can have your own personal preferences, of course you can, but it's not a case of identifying the left back. We've done that. We just don't want to pay the money for it again, and this is where I do sympathise with Jose, because some things are his fault and some things aren't. And the left back situation is he wants a left back. I won't be moaning about it next season in the sense of saying, well, Mourinho's a bloody idiot for not getting a left back, because it's bloody obvious he wants a left back. I'll be moaning about who the left back is, no doubt, but that will be aimed at Woodward, because we should have got the left back that Jose wanted, and again, it's not been delivered.
Here's Shaw again.
He doesn't want to go forward either, Luke Shaw. He always comes back, plays a backwards pass. He's getting more of the ball in this first 10 minutes of the second half, though, which is a good thing. Good chance there for Milano.
How far do you think United will go in the Champions League this year?
I think if they go as far as they did last time, they'll do well. I can't see. I think one thing you do get in the Champions Leagues is that teams are tactically efficient, and as we saw with Sevilla, I agree with what Paul Scholes said this week. I don't think that Sevilla are a very good team, but I think they figured United out very, very quickly, and so I don't think they're going to have any problems with it dealing with us. How about yourself?
You never know, because it's a tournament where once we get into the knockout stages, anything could really happen. So I could see us going farther in the Champions League than we do in the league, to be honest. But I don't know. It was a nice play there by Pereira, picking the ball up in the middle, turns two guys, sprays the ball out wide.
I think
That's
Pereira's
the thing.
had a good first half, good second half, hasn't he, Pereira?
Absolutely. And if you're this is the thing that kills me. It probably kills you too. If you're Mourinho, how do you not? That's a man's tackle by Bailly there. If you're Mourinho and you see that, how could you not say? And now he's injured, Bailly.
Oh no.
Yep. Smalling and Jones for week 1 confirmed.
Well, the thing is though,
he gets hurt a lot.
This is he's very injury prone in his first 2 years at United, and also I think he's he's a big fan favourite, isn't he, Eric Bailly? But when you look at the evidence, Jose Mourinho is not necessarily starting him anyway. I mean, he used that bullshit sort of line at the end of last season where I'm picking players to give him a chance of going to the World Cup. Well, Bailly obviously wasn't going to the World Cup, but Smalling was never going to the World Cup either. So I think it was quite interesting that there was an issue with Eric Bailly and Mourinho at the end of last season, and hopefully they have resolved it. But I agree with you. I think Jose Mourinho's first choice centre backs are Jones and Smalling. I'm sure he wants to add a centre back to that, but most fans would say it should be Bailly and Lindelof. But that's what fans think. The manager is obviously very, very different in what he thinks about that.
It's just strange because he brought those players in. They're his players. He identified those players as what he likes in a center back: fearless, fast, and doesn't play him. Doesn't make any sense.
Be interesting to see what substitutions Jose is going to make in this game, because we have got Liverpool in literally 2 days time, Friday, 2.5 days time, and he'll be wanting to play a lot of these players in that, because he can't have the kids playing in that because they'll get absolutely hung out to dry. So he's going to have to start making a few substitutions, otherwise he's going to end up with all these players that apparently he needs for the Leicester game really struggling with fatigue. Daniel.
Yeah, and the thing is though, I just can't see him making. I don't see Chong coming on for some reason. I'll see, probably like Fosu Mensah will come on, players that we've seen already, maybe a Mason Greenwood, but I don't know. I just don't think that he'll make a bunch of changes. I think he's kind of gonna ride this team out. This is the team he's gonna play probably for the Liverpool game. Maybe a change. Probably not Twanzebe, but yeah, I don't know. Don't see a lot of changes coming. Almost 60 minutes. Are they even warming up?
I haven't seen them. I've been very impressed with Pereira in the second half, and I think that's because Manchester United have become a little bit more defensive. I mean, Milan are just about to make another 2 substitutions here. He's got a decent squad with him, to be fair. Gattuso, and obviously wants to use this. Their season starts a little bit later than ours, but who scored? Says light-skinned gamer. Alexis Sanchez 1-on-1, and Suso for Milan 1-on-1. Pretty much one after the other as well. Still got half an hour to go in this game. I think the Liverpool game on Saturday night is going to be massive. They're changing their keeper as well. Reina's coming on, Pepe Reina. Talking about Liverpool. Do you know that the Serie A is second highest league that spends on transfers, as Ryan Skibaras? I'm not surprised. Some good transfers being done in the Italian league. I'll be watching it again with great interest this season to see. Juventus want to win the Champions League.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I've been watching Serie A longer than I've been watching the Premier League, actually, because in the States, the first football that was televised, it was a channel called RAI International, and they had all the Serie A games. So that's what I was first watching. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Going to be very competitive. There's about 4 teams that are going to be, I don't think anyone will catch Juventus, but it'll be a good season.
No, Ronaldo should tear it up, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, he's just added about 4 years to his career.
Here's Luke Shaw anyway. Crap cross. And I think he's got a corner from it, though, to be fair. My opinion of Luke Shaw is if Manchester United want to sell him, he's just staying just so he can go for free next summer. I think he should go. I don't sympathise with him on that. I know why he's probably doing it, because he doesn't feel that he's been treated well by Mourinho, but actually Luke Shaw and how he's been treated doesn't really concern me as a Manchester United fan. Decent shot from Luke Shaw there, though, to be fair. Obviously listening. 25 yards out, hit it low, caught it well. I don't think he's ever scored a goal, actually. I think there's some weird stat about Luke Shaw. But good save by Pepe Reina. Long way out from Luke. And I think there was an offside anyway. No corner.
Okay, Sanchez was in the line of vision of the keeper. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. It would have been a more comfortable save for him, really, if Sanchez hadn't been. Roger Watson wants thoughts on whether Gareth Bale's coming. No, I never thought he was anyway, but I would say with 2 weeks left in the transfer window as of today, and no real progress in that deal, I don't see how United could do a deal like that in 2 weeks. And also, would you want him? Because even if that deal did kick in now, I don't think there'd be time to do anything else. So, no, I don't think Bale's going to happen. Do you, Daniel?
No, I don't see it happening. I think that's kind of like it just reminds me of the Ronaldo one. It's just going to rumble on every year until he signs a new contract or goes somewhere else. That's not Man United, but I just don't see Real dealing with us on any level. And it's the same thing with when Ronaldo, people were saying that he got offered to Man United. I don't believe for a second that Perez picked up the phone and said, "Yeah, you want to have our best player after not giving us your best player." I just don't. This just makes absolutely no sense. I don't know why people think that's actually a thing. I don't think he was offered to us at all.
Ronaldo?
Yeah, no, I don't think that happened.
Well, he said he said himself that there was only one club in for him, so United clearly made no effort.
Yeah, I remember reading a couple articles and a couple tweets after from a couple of bigger accounts, verified accounts, saying that Man United refused to, were offered him, but they refused. I don't believe that for a minute. And I think it's the same thing with Bale. How are you going to take players off Real Madrid when you didn't deal with them when it came to De Gea, and now they're not? They're never going to get him. I don't think he'll ever go to Real now. I think that's done.
No. I mean that's a positive from the summer that we've kept De Gea, because I wasn't 100% sure that we would. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Manchester United. I'm just thinking about this game against Liverpool on Saturday night and thinking, he's surely not just going to keep playing the same team for 90 minutes twice. I mean, maybe he will. I mean, that's just Jose in youth, isn't it? I mean,
stranger things have happened. We re-signed Fellaini for another 2 years, so anything is possible.
Martial's gone back to England, James Moss, for the birth of his child. But I mean, very interesting. I'm going to do a match reaction straight after this, and it's normally about a couple of minutes after I finish my match reaction. We normally get Jose's press conference, and we'll see what he's got to say about the Martial thing, because it was all over the British press last night that Martial is not going to come back to the tour. Has got no intention of coming back, which, to be honest, makes sense. I don't get the no intention, because actually his wife's not, his girlfriend, just shot from Milan, his girlfriend's not given birth yet, and our last game is on Wednesday morning in a week's time, so him coming back wouldn't make a lot of sense anyway. But apparently Jose's not happy about it, so let's see what he's got to say about that. Deleted says who scored. I'm at school. Sanchez for Manchester United, Suso for AC Milan. I think second half United have done very little in an attacking sense, which is why I think Pereira stood out more, because obviously he's running the midfield from the CDM position. It's been a more defensive display from United in this second half. A lot of love coming in for Twan CB. I'd say he was certainly at fault for the goal, but I wouldn't be critical of that. This is perfect for someone like Twan CB, this game. I don't think he'll be playing next season, but he's getting some good game time, which is good. That's a nice little slip through there, and Pereira will let it go. Intelligent. Yeah, with half an hour to get, 25 minutes to go, I think Pereira would probably be my man of the match at the moment. Let us know what you think in the live comments. Any difference on that? Daniel, I know you were impressed with Sanchez first half.
I'd say first half was Sanchez's half. This has been Pereira's half, so it's hard to pick a man of the match right now. But I'd probably still give it to Sanchez because he scored the goal. But Pereira's been getting on every ball. Here's a ball over the top here to Sanchez, and it's on a plate. Unreal.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And,
should have shot. I should have shot it first time.
Worked it well for Mata, but brilliant by Pereira. And that's what I've liked from Sanchez today as well, though. He's, I think there was a chance in the second half where he could have played Mata in a one-on-one and he took an extra touch, but he still found a good pass to Herrera. And even then, I think he should have got the shot away, but he still finds a good chance for Mata. So that's good to see and encouraging to see from Sanchez. But Pereira's just been brilliant this second half because United have gone more defensive, and I think some of the defensive players have come to the forefront a bit, which is why people are talking about Twansibi. I think Bayes had a better second half as well. Smalling's almost had a cigar, and he's not picking up the player, is he? He's just playing the central role. So it's Smalling's had a quiet, not a bad game, but not a great game either because he's not really. Most of the defending's been done by Twansibi and Bailly.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't even think he's had a clearance to make, Chris Smalling. I think on one corner he had a header, but they're just showing it back, the ball over the top to Sanchez here. Took a good first touch too. Took it a little bit away from the goalie, but.
Well, that's Michael Carrick for you. That's the Carrick effect, and Pereira himself was speaking about that yesterday, about how he's listening to the manager and Michael Carrick. And the one thing that really sort of depressed me when Michael Carrick retired was that I think we saw it in the last game of the season as well at Old Trafford, that instant ball over the top that Mata scored from, and I think it caught the opposition unaware because they were like, United don't do that. United don't play a 40-yard pass over the back line, and we don't because Matic can't do it, but then Pereira can. So it's maybe in a year's time when Jose's gone and Matic can be got rid of, and then we'll play Pereira in that position.
Yeah. I mean, thing is that the other players around him, they seem to give him the ball, without hesitation. They're confident in him, as much as the fans are confident in him because he does have the talent. I think when you're on a football field, there's no denying a talented player when he's on the field, especially a midfielder.
Well, Eric Bayes just made a great recovery tackle there after a bad pass to Pereira that put AC Milan in, but the recovery tackle was good because I thought Milan were going to score there, but it was a bit of a bad pass to Pereira. But this is good by Sanchez to see, and good running by him as well. And again, he finds the pass, which is really good to see. This is the encouraging thing about Sanchez. He's not giving the ball away. So now Luke Shaw coming down the left, probably too many touches again and gives it away. He's had a bad game, Luke Shaw, tonight.
I'd say he'd probably been the worst player for us tonight. Even he's probably had a worse game than Twansibi, who was at fault for the goal, but he's actually grown into the game a little bit.
Well, Rahul just said it as well. He's been bad. William Reddy, Shaw's been annoying. What is Shaw doing? Says Adityo, and my gosh, Shaw, what are you doing? Says Devon. I think Fred the Red's talking about miserable Jose, and he has been miserable. But I think there's we obviously want to back the players and we want to support the club, and they've shown us some positivity tonight. I don't want to be negative about United, and I agree that Mourinho feeds that negativity. But actually, if we can get through this game and not lose it, I think I'll walk away with this with some positivity, to be honest, because. I like this formation. I think it's allowed us to play far better, and it did last season. And the players look more comfortable in it.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. The only thing I'd hesitate about is, as much as they've played better, probably their best game of the preseason. Obviously, it's like Pereira's been the standout player, and is he gonna play? Is he gonna even get any minutes? that's the worrying thing for me. Like it's it's all well and good saying they played well and Sanchez is playing well up front, but is he going to play up front when the season starts, or is he going to be on the left? Is Pereira going to play, or is he going to be on the bench? So your two best players from tonight, are they even going to be involved in the way that they've been involved today? Probably not, off the evidence that we've seen last year.
The thing is, you're right, but I always think with that is that if next season goes wrong and the midfield's playing badly again, we're all going to look back and say, well, remember what Pereira was like in the midfield. And it wasn't like, I remember him doing this for Van Gaal 3 years ago in America, and he looked really good as a sort of attacking player. This is a different Pereira. This is, like you say, this is a Pereira everyone wants to give the ball to. This is Pereira who, in that midfield three, is running it. And yet Herrera and McTominay are probably higher up the chain in Mourinho's mind, but in everybody else's mind, Pereira is the best midfielder out of those three, and he's running that midfield, and everyone's giving him the ball, like you say, confidently. John Massey says apparently it goes to penalties after 90 minutes. Great.
I remember you doing a watch along on the last preseason when Pereira played in the midfield in America, and he was tearing it up, and everyone was talking then. He's ready. He's going to break into the team. This is 2 years on from that, and I mean, we're still having fears. Myself, other fans, having the same fears. Is he even going to get the minutes?
The thing is, though, with Pereira is that he can't afford. He had this same thing happen to him last summer, which is like, I think what Mourinho wanted him to stay, and if even look at McTominay. McTominay was Mourinho's Player of the Year, but he only played about 5 games. So I think Pereira was right with what he did, and Luke Shaw's coming off for Fosu Mensah, so I think Darwin will switch to left back. And but Pereira this season cannot sit there and be, I'm happy to be in the reserves, because he's actually played a lot of games for Valencia and Granada over the last 2 years in La Liga. So Jose's got a decision with Pereira, and if that decision is I can't give you many first team games, I would still be get him a loan at Premier League club. Get him off to Bournemouth where he can play 38 games in a season. I'm not opposed to that. I think Pereira's ready, but if we're not going to be able to give him the games, there's been talk of selling him. He shouldn't be sold. Get him off to Bournemouth or somewhere like that and get him playing first team Premier League football, because he's done La Liga now. I think he needs to be playing regular football. I just don't think he'll get it at United.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either, and it's so frustrating because you look at him, the way he's performed in La Liga, the way he's performed for us in the preseason games, and it's just, we could all see it. Manager doesn't want to see it. I don't think it's not that he could see it. He could see it. I don't think he wants to see it, because then
he's not a Jose player, is he really?
Nah, and also too, he'll be proven wrong. Because people will be saying from the beginning, well, how come you haven't played him 2 years ago? Well, I don't know. He's such a good player, and he's been such a good player in the academy. He's been such a good player on loan, and just think we're wasting him, totally wasting him. I think in most of the top 4 sides, I think he gets into the 18, easy.
Hannibal
City
Wolf
might
says,
be a little.
Remember to like the video. Thanks for that. Sorry, Daniel. Yeah, you were saying.
Oh no, I was just saying City might be a little difficult for Pereira to get into the 18, but I think Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, he's in the 18, easy. Not even a question.
Yeah, which is why it surprises me that we're potentially in for Thiago, because Thiago is a very, very good player, but be very similar to Pereira. And signing a player like Thiago would mean even less chance of Pereira getting involved. And also, Thiago over the last 3 years has struggled to play half a season for Bayern Munich, injury prone. So I hope there's nothing in Thiago. I like him, but I just don't see. I also don't think he's a Mourinho sort of player either.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely not. And does he even make you that much better? Probably. I mean, if you're going to go sign players, they're going to have to make somewhat of a difference, a position that we need, or a position that you could say is, okay, you're bringing in this player, he's miles ahead of this player. Thiago comes into the team, is he that much better than a Fred or a Pereira? I mean, he's playing at a higher level right now, but can't stay on the field. Has been out of the Spain setup, hasn't he, for the past couple seasons? So
Yeah. He's a bench player for Spain, isn't he? So
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is it really that much of if you get a player like that, is it that much of an upgrade? Probably not.
Josh Anthony says Thiago is a pet player. I think he definitely is. And it's a water break now, says Salim. Thiago is, says John Kai. Thiago is a pet player, so a lot of people saying that. We don't need Thiago, we need to spend money elsewhere first, says Chris Velvic, which I agree with. We don't need any more midfielders, says Awesome Guy. I think we did before the start of the season. We definitely did, but don't know what Mourinho's having a go at there, pointing to his head. I thought we needed 2 midfielders at the start of the start of the transfer window, but obviously he's kept Fellaini. But the positive is Pereira's come through as a really good option as well. So I don't think we need another midfielder. And in an ideal world, another midfielder would be nice just to have another option. But the reality is we've got issues in the team that need to be resolved. Right midfield is an important one. Left back is essential, and it looks like we're not going to do it. And a lot of people would like a centre back. So they're 3 positions that need sorting out. I keep hearing that we want a backup striker as well, but
yeah, I don't see what the problem is with playing. Well, I do see the problem with it. I was going to say playing Rashford as a backup forward, but he's not going to get any game time. I mean, what type of forward are you going to go out and get and say play second fiddle to Lukaku, who never gets subbed anyway? You're going to spend. You know what I mean?
We've been linked with people like Mandzukic, haven't we? And
but he started for Juventus last year.
Yeah.
So how's he going to come here and say, well, you might get 10 games, maybe, and a couple sub appearances from 78 minutes on? I think if a forward like that is what you need, it's got to be a youth player, or it's got to be a guy you're trying to develop, because no established forward is going to want to come in for a handful of games and some sub appearances. At least, unless they're all the way at the end of their career. There was a good comment before by Gilly MUFC, who said that if Pereira was a new signing for £50 million, everyone would be jumping off the edge of their seats, getting excited for him to start the season, and it couldn't be more true. As if Fred came in, let's say Fred was on this tour and he was playing as well as Pereira, everyone was saying, "Wow, Fred's a revelation. This guy's going to add so much to the midfield." We already have a player like that, and he'll never get the game time.
It's a very, very good point. A very good point, and I'll probably use that in my match reaction, because I think it's spot on. It's if Pereira was Fred and a new signing, he would be getting a lot of praise.
Yeah, I had a feeling that we wouldn't be seeing Chong tonight. I just had that. There's 10 minutes left, so unless he's going to play for 3 minutes. See none of Santi Gomes this tour. He's played. What has he played? A half, 2 halves.
I know. Maybe he's making a point again that I can't use the youth in these sort of games because it's a hide into nothing. So I can only use what I've got, and they're going to be knackered now as well.
Yeah.
Flocky Ron says, I remember Mark saying Fred is better than Jorginho. Ha ha ha. You don't need to remember, mate. I'll say it to you again. Fred's better than Jorginho. You don't need to remember it, mate. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it to you. I mean, why you think that Jorginho is better than Fred? I've watched a lot of both. Well, I haven't watched loads of Fred, actually. I've seen a lot of Jorginho because he plays for... he used to play in Serie A, didn't he? And very, very different players, but I'd take Fred every day of the week. Fred's a little bit of a risk because he's obviously been playing in Ukraine and stuff, and you never know how he's going to adapt to the Premier League. But for me, 100%, definitely a better player.
Jorginho wasn't even the best midfielder on his team. Not even close. I think Allen is twice the midfielder he is, and he doesn't get mentioned because most people don't watch Serie A, but he reminds me a lot of different type of physical build, but he reminds me a lot of N'Golo Kante. Allen, Brazilian midfielder, just picks the ball up, runs from minute 1 to minute 90, picks the ball up, feeds Hamsik and Insigne and the forwards, and makes Jorginho look good, kind of like Bakayoko look good next to Fabinho.
Well, I think we might be having a penalty shootout here, so if you don't mind just monitoring the live comments for a minute, Daniel.
Absolutely. Sure, yeah.
I'm just going to quickly take a refreshment break.
Sure, yeah. Do your thing.
Let me have a look where I am. Penalty shootout again. I thought those days were over with the World Cup, but unless AC Milan get a winner, which they're on the attack here at the moment, but United have defended quite well this second half, so we should be all right. Okay, I'll leave you with it for a minute.
Probably right, Andrew. Fred won't play half the season. He'll probably miss the first 2 months because he needs to adapt to the team. He'll show up in November, kind of like Mkhitaryan. Then he'll be dropped. Milan just hit the post there. I think it was the former Liverpool reject Fabio Borini getting the inside of the post. Might not be going to penalties. Oh, I don't think he needs to adapt either, Roger. I just think that Mourinho will think that of him. That's typical what he does. Gets a new player, doesn't play him right away unless it's a player he knows. James is Fred a very bad signing. Hasn't played a game yet. Jury's still out.
Oh, I've just hit the post. I've just missed that.
Yeah, it was Borini. It's come a long way from Liverpool and Sunderland.
Yeah. It's a good effort, really. Well, good save by Pereira, actually.
Pereira got a piece, yeah.
Yeah. Corner here, cross here for AC Milan anyway. So match reaction stream will be set up, but it looks like we might be going to penalties, which is an interesting one. Interesting concept, but let's see what happens. Just having a quick look on Twitter, actually, because you get really interesting replies to things on Twitter. So Luke Shaw off, awful tonight. Please pay the money for Sandro Woodwell is what we tweeted. Agree, he was booed off and fans had a go at him as he walked off. Played horrible, says George Rangel. I don't know whether that's true, could be speculative. Shut up, you bell end. He'll get better with more game time. Typical Twitter response. Sandro won't leave Juve for Man United, Mark. I really wanted to see a spark from Shaw tonight. So much potential, just can't put it together. Sell the Well, that's not very nice what somebody said there, talking about his weight again. That's Twitter for you in a little moment. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. I think we're quite close to 46,000 subscribers now, which would be great to hit that. Bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at UK time at 8 o'clock. We do a transfer daily every morning at 7 a.m. Although this morning it will be at midday because obviously it's 7 a.m. in an hour's time and we've not even finished this game yet. And what else? And also we go live every time there's any breaking news with United. So get subscribed. Get your notifications on by clicking the bell and ticking to get all notifications, because we are a live content channel. If you want to get notified when we're live, you need to have your bell on, which is underneath. So, but thanks everyone who's tuned in for this game. I think it's been well worth it. First half we were a lot more attacking. Second half we've been very defensive, but I've been impressed with Eric Bailly second half. I think Twansibi's grown into the game. And I think obviously Pereira's been fantastic second half. Good to see Alexis Sanchez. I think Alexis Sanchez has worked well with that freedom. Hamilton's going to come on now for 48. Mata. This is Hamilton's first minutes in the tournament. On the tour, Daniel, which is
he'll probably be the youth. He'll probably be the youth player they bring through next year too, because he's had such a great preseason.
Yeah.
So it's very typical, and then they'll go to penalties now, and so who's going to take the penalties?
Well, Mata would be a good penalty taker, wouldn't he? But we just
he's off now. Yeah.
I think Mourinho will like Hamilton though, because he's about 6'4", so he's ticking the major box straight away.
Yeah, he's got the height, and he doesn't look like he's got a lot of pace, so it's right up Jose's alley there.
Mo Green says Jose parking the bus from minute one. I don't know. I think that's unfair. First half, we looked at the stats at half time, and United had a lot more chances. But second half, definitely Milan have been the better team, and United have had to work as a defensive unit. Which I know people aren't going to like this, but I think Daniel, on Saturday, that's exactly what United are going to do. We're going to be facing Keita, Fabinho. They've got their new signings. Mane, Salah's back. I think they'll definitely be parking the bus against Liverpool. So whilst tonight I think has been a step forward in relation to the last two games, I can see Saturday being a down-to-earth game for Mourinho again. Don't know what you think. Thoughts are on that?
Yeah, you're probably right. I was actually kind of interested to watch and see Keita and see Fabinho, but the whole team will probably look good against 11 guys playing defense. So. Yeah, no Chong, no Gomes. Roshan Williams hasn't played a lick.
No, yeah. It's good for them to be on the tour and part of the first team setup, but Dimitri Mitchell as well, not played really since the first game. I thought he did well as well. I think he played the first half against Club America. So
this guy Garner almost just caught the ball out of the Ethan Hamilton. I mean, I don't know. He looks totally. I know it's only been a couple minutes, but he just looks totally out of place there. A lot of the young guys not playing, and like you said, it's good to get the experience and play with the senior players, but it's like being a mechanic and watching everybody else change the tires, and you never get to do it. How are you gonna get better at it?
Herrera's just picked up a yellow card here at the end. I presume everybody's right that there is going to be a penalty shootout. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, I think there is, because I remember when they played Real a couple of years ago in the same tournament, it went straight to penalties, and Martial missed, right? And then we were saying it was the end of Martial then.
Don't know what's happening here. AC Milan player's just gone down. I thought he'd blame for penalties, but I don't think he has. Jacob Hexamer says Pereira probably has one of, if not the best passing range out of anyone in the squad. Yeah, he's been very, very good. Roger Watson says I'm aiming to finish in the top 15. Second half, we've been rubbish, says LM Ellis. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, first 15 minutes came out well. Since then, boring. Apart from the Pereira ball to Sanchez.
He's not blown up yet, no. Well, it's always nice to watch a penalty shootout, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be
an irrelevant game.
It's gonna be funny to see who takes him. I'm actually more interested in that than probably the actual shootout.
Well, you'd fancy
Probably be
Pereira.
Alexis Pereira, Herrera, Darmian because he's the captain.
Yeah. McTominay, you would think.
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say Bay, but I don't know who else after that. The rest is just a. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Darmian's gone to that left back position because Luke Shaw went off and Fosu came on.
Well, that could be a penalty there. No. Referee looked like he was.
Could have got him early there, the ref. Give a penalty and end it. Yeah, because it's a tournament, this, isn't it? I don't know how it works, and because you don't play everybody anyway, do you? But this ICC Champions thing.
Yeah, it's like the most points after the first two games, and there's some sort of final. I don't know what the hell goes on with this.
And it's played all around the world as well. I think Arsenal are in it, even though they're playing in Singapore. So.
Yeah, I think they're playing Atletico tomorrow.
Well, that's it. I think we've got penalties coming out very soon, which is interesting. Let's see what happens with it. We've got a match reaction. I'll be doing it straight after this. The stream has been set up. The link is in the video description, top line. So we will be doing a match reaction straight after, just giving a summary of the game and all that. But we've got a penalty shootout a little bit first. Showing back the Sanchez goal there, which he took very well. And then, unfortunately, we... but yeah, it'd be interesting if we'd have kept it 1-0 for a little bit longer, really, because... their goal was almost instantaneous and very, very similar. Just a bit of a defensive lapse, but second half we've defended well. Berserk says Shaw is really finished, which is sad. Who do you think Mourinho will sign on the right wing? Says Tedson. You got any ideas about that, Daniel, right wing? Because I think at the moment it's so difficult to know. We're just waiting for the penalties to start, by the way. I think it's so difficult to know what United are doing in the transfer market at the moment. I mean, we've been doing this for a number of years, and you normally get a hint from some of the credible sources out there. There's no hint at the moment. I mean, people seem to think Rebic. I can't see United going for Rebic. He's just not a United player. Perisic and Willian apparently too old. Bale's unlikely. So who else is there for the right midfield? I can't really think of anybody.
A friend of mine who is he's a season ticket holder, and that's who I go to the games with when I go over about 4 or 5 times a year. He seems to believe that he's been a season ticket holder for probably 20 years now, 25 years, and he seems to think that Willian deal's already been agreed for a couple weeks, which is really it's really pissing him off because it's so against what we're about. I just think it's like you said, it's just one of those things you could go to on the last day of the season, wrap it up, get a guy in that you already know. You know what he's about. You know what he could do. You know what he can't do.
Well, Mourinho loves him, doesn't he? And
yeah, run through brick walls for you, and that's the type of player he likes. He likes a guy who's not going to put up a fuss. He'll be one of the first names on the team sheet. Yeah.
I'd agree. I think that I can't see who the right midfielder is going to be other than Willian. So, but the scary thing about it is he's not worth anything more than 40 million, and they're talking 60. Which is just ridiculous for somebody who's 30 and 2 or 3 weeks' time. Also, effectively, we were going to get rid of a 22-year-old for Kessie and Mourinho having a little bit of a chat there. We should have signed him. He looks happy, Mourinho, which is good. Yeah, Willian comes into the club nearly 30 or 30, and Martial goes out of the club. That's not right either. But yeah, I think your mate's right, because I said that right at the start of the transfer window. Willian, if we've not done any business, I can see Willian coming in almost the last day of the transfer window, because it doesn't. Mourinho knows what he's getting, and so yeah, I think Willian could happen, and maybe a centre back.
Yeah. I just, he knows what he'll get. But what do you think of this scenario where because they don't want to pay the money for Willian, what do you think about they just do a swap with Martial and maybe Chelsea throws us a couple dollars? I could actually see that happening, as horrible as that is.
I think Chelsea would love it. But anyway, first penalty's coming up, and I think it's
Pereira.
It's Pereira first. I'd fancy him to score. I mean, it's not like England and Colombia. This isn't. It's not the end of the world if we don't win on penalties. But I'd fancy Pereira to score because he's got the technique. Matthew McFadden, Andres Pereira with the first penalty. A lot of people saying, why is McTominay playing? It's a good question. Pressure is on, says Harry Nalgas. Waiting for the referee. Pereira steps up.
Cool as you
nice. Lovely penalty. I'd never had any doubt with him. I think his technique is so good. So Manchester United take a 1-0 lead. What a penalty, says Andreas.
After a long wait too.
Yeah, he had to wait bloody ages, but yeah, he knows the keeper's gone. No messing around. Kalanoglu for AC Milan. Very good set piece taker, so you'd expect him to score as well. Joel Pereira in goal for us. Nice little bit of experience for him. Remember, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Watch along for every single game. Live at 8 o'clock every night. Transfer daily. Loads to get involved with. Always got the live comments up. Subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Kalanoglu. Ooh, nearly saved it.
Got a hand to it.
Yeah, got a save to it. I think it was probably just too good a penalty, but 1-1. Watching it back, yeah, it's a good penalty. Maybe probably should have kept that out, I think, Daniel, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say probably should have saved it because looks like he got the top of his hands to that. Rather than the palms. I think that was the problem. Kind of went in off the fingertips. If you got the palms to that, I don't think that goes in.
And Herrera. Next.
No.
Good penalty. Good penalty.
Yeah.
Low and hard. Keeper goes the right way. 2-1 Manchester United after 2 penalties. This is the most excitement anybody's had on the US tour so far. If in a United shirt, the fans, at least they're getting a bit of excitement. I'd say American, your typical American fan who doesn't watch a lot of football probably loves this sort of thing, because that's always been the problem over the years, hasn't it? They don't like the 1-0s and things like that. They like lots of goals, don't they, or lots of scores. Mm-hmm. So the dramatic penalty shootouts is probably something they like.
Yeah, this is perfect for them. Perfect for them.
I didn't see he was taking this one.
I think this is Barini. Yeah. Oh, classic.
Yeah, good save, keeper. Did the old stutter as well.
Yeah, former Liverpool player. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah. Well, it's a crap penalty, that is, because he actually does the little stutter, which is meant to help you know where the goalkeeper's going to go, and still missed. And I think...
I'll tell you what, Pereira didn't move. He did the stutter. He stayed right where he was. He kind of... It looks like he knew it was coming.
Straight down the middle, wasn't it?
So off his line, though.
Yeah,
basically.
I wish, to be honest, I know that's benefited there, but I wish referees would do something about that, because these keepers get miles off their line. But Manchester United leading 2-1. Here's Alexis Sanchez with penalty number 3. You'd fancy him to score. And he does. Lovely penalty from Sanchez. I've been impressed with Sanchez tonight, Daniel. I think he's been really good. I don't know what people at home think, but
Played very well. Gotta say, between him and Pereira, two best players on the field. Hard to give a man of the match. I think they both deserve it. But yeah, calm penalty takers, both of them.
looks like United's next two penalty takers are Bay and Darmian. So McTominay, I thought, would have took one, but no. Kessie steps up for Milan. This is their third one. We're a 3-1 ahead now, so they need this just to stay behind. Just stay in contact. It's not a semi-final, John. It's the Champions Cup or something like that that's played between loads of teams. I don't know how you win it, but there is some sort of points accumulation because it's a penalty shootout. And United in a good position here. Hopefully, let's see if Pereira can save another one. Ooh, he's gone the right way every time, but Kessie scores. Keeps them in it. He needs a loan move, Pereira. I think he's ready. Mourinho thinks very, very high of him and thinks he can be a Manchester United goalkeeper of the future. So that's why they've got Grant in, really. Because obviously we've still got Romero. Oh, McTominay is taking a penalty. So
yeah, you were right. I was thinking it was going to be. I was thinking of Bay and Darmian, but yeah, this will be interesting. This will be interesting because I don't think he has great technique. Short run up too.
I think he'll blast it, won't he?
No.
Missed it. It's just that sort of player, McTominay, isn't he? He doesn't instill confidence in any sense or form, does he? I mean, I'm not going to him for missing a penalty, but it's...
No, but that's what I was saying. Doesn't really have the... See, there's guys that take short run-ups and that are players that are built like him and offer the same, but he doesn't have the technique that they do.
No, it's a crap penalty.
That's just one of those, you hit it and you hope the goalie goes the other way because it's not in the corner, it's not high enough.
So this is to level it up for AC Milan, which will basically put it into and he saved it again! Pereira! Lovely stuff. Well, it's the story of the Pereiras, isn't it? He's gone the right way every single time and he's saved two.
It's going to be Captain Darmian to win it.
Captain Darmian to win it.
If he does take the last penalty.
Oh yeah, of course. We're assuming he is taking it. We don't know yet.
I think he will be. Oh, Pereira's taking it.
Oh, the keeper. Oh, lovely.
I was thinking, why the hell is he going up there with the ball? Wow. There's some state of the penalty takers we have. The goalie's taking the fifth.
Darmian bottled it, even though he's the man. Oh, he's missed it. Oh god, this could run and run. This could run and run. I will be doing my match reaction straight after this, by the way. The link is in the video description, top line. So as soon as this is over, I'll go and do my match reaction for those who are joining just for the penalty shootout. But although if he saves this one, we've still won it. God knows who's going to take our next penalty, though, if we've got bloody Joel Pereira taking the one to win it. Pepe Reina's taking theirs, though, which is weird.
The circus. The circus. And they're out there to entertain the fans.
He's just going to blast this, you can tell. Just stay central. Oh, it's a good penalty as well. So, sudden death penalties now. McTominay and Joel Pereira missing for United. So it finishes... Well, they've got United on 3-4 there, the score. That's wrong. It's 4-4, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be. Should be 3-3,
3-3, yeah.
Nabe takes one, yeah.
Eric Bailly. I don't know whether Eric Bailly's got much technique either, to be honest.
Nah. Although he is comfortable on the ball when he's on the ball, so... He does a lot of, especially against Liverpool, the pirouettes in the midfield. Oh, that was terrible.
God,
Oh
that was
my
an
God.
absolutely rubbish penalty from Eric Bailly. Shocking. Well, this could be the game over anyway, Daniel. So thanks everyone. Thanks very much for coming on the watch along anyway.
Absolutely appreciate you having me, and just all you guys out there supporting the channel. Just know that this is your channel. I mean, Mark says it every day, and it is. I mean, allowing me to be on the watch along is really great, and just keep supporting the channel. Like, subscribe, share, and do your bit.
Here we go then. Is this Milan winning it on a penalty shootout? They score, they win.
That was even worse.
Missed it. He's at the post. Oh, God.
That was even worse than the penalty.
Cancel your work plans, everyone, because this is going to be a long night, long morning. He's at the post. Sent Pereira the wrong way, but he's at the post. No one wants to win this game.
I'll tell you what's funny. The fans are absolutely eating this up. They can't get enough of this.
At least we're entertaining them. At least we're entertaining them. That's all I can say. I think that's the positive, isn't it? We are entertaining them. So who steps up for United now? Who steps up for United now? And remember, while we've got your attention, if you are just tuning in and you're new, please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, because we're only 31 subscribers away from 246,000. So Chris Smalling stepping up here. Bottom right hand corner, there's a subscribe button. Please do subscribe. Smalling scores. It's a banter evening.
That was such an awkward looking penalty.
It is entertaining. It's entertainment at past 6 in the morning in the UK and whatever time it is elsewhere. But it wasn't a great penalty, but Rain had already committed himself, so it looked good.
Yeah, 1:15 over here in New York.
Yeah, so late one for you, early one for us.
Yep.
Jerry says, "Shut me up! What a penalty!" The thing is that these can go run and run and run because all they've got to do is replicate each other. Get the managers to take penalties, says the Phil Foster.
Well, Mourinho's an excellent penalty saver as a keeper. If you remember that game they did.
Went the right way, but Milan score it.
Yeah.
Andrew Southwick says, please somebody miss. I'm sure people are feeling the same. They've got to go to work and stuff. I've got to do my match reaction, yeah. Another round of sudden death, says Mets 24. Yeah. Pereira is solid at reading these, says Will Bradford. So Twan CB stepping up now.
Darmian all the way in. Oh yeah, definitely, especially the younger players.
They shouldn't be feeling nervous at the end of the day. AS7 Alexi says he's going to miss. He looks a bit nervous. He does look nervous. He shouldn't be. His run up doesn't look very good at all. It's very central. He's going to have to open his body up.
Oh wow!
He scored it. Lovely penalty. We were doubting him for. That was lovely. It's probably one of the best of the lot. Let's watch it back. He put it nice and high. Somebody said, what a miss. No. That was unstoppable, that was.
Knocked the camera out.
Yeah, top corner almost. Good penalty. Worthy of winning it, hopefully. Let's see. Top bins. There you go. Best penalty of the lot, says Pete Phillips. I agree. Come on, miss. Oh, he scored as well. We're going to... Oh, God. We'll be here all bloody day.
Kalinic, that's the guy that Croatia sent home from the World Cup because he didn't want to come on. He didn't want to come on as a substitute in their first game.
Wow, what a wally. So, another round of sudden death now.
Well, then we're going to have guys like probably Hamilton will take one.
Yeah. Can't think. Darmian's not took one yet.
Well, hold on. Why is Fosu-Mensah taking another one?
No, he hasn't took one yet.
Didn't he take the first? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Darmian and Hamilton are the only ones not to. Good penalty, Fosu. Good penalty.
That's a run-up for you.
Nice
right
technique
there.
as well. It's all good. It's all good for them.
Funny.
Kept his eye on the keeper. Lovely penalty. Probably the two best penalties of the for Man United have been Fosu Mensah and Twansibi, to be fair. Right, let's see what happens now. Please miss. Be nice for United to win a penalty shootout, but it'd be nice for the game to end as well. Be live straight after this with a match reaction and midday for the Transfer Daily today because of this game running. And he scored it as well, bloody hell. AC Milan have scored. That's quite a good penalty as well. So we've still got Hamilton and Darmian for us. And it's Darmian doesn't want to take a penalty, does he? Captain Darmian bottling it.
They're afraid I'll kill something.
Yeah. Hamilton hardly been on the pitch at all. Left footer. I think he'll miss this.
Don't like the look of this
He's
guy.
a bit of a McTominay, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Missed it. Yeah. He just
Saw that
just
coming from a mile away.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, looks like he'll be in the first team next year, though. But Pereira will be out. Good save, but good height.
But,
Right at him.
It wasn't a very good penalty, was it? It was.
Right at him.
You're better off going central than that.
Darmian's going to get out of jail here. He's not going to wind up taking one unless Pereira saves this.
So this to win it for AC Milan,
Oh, yeah.
and he saves it.
Actually, that's great because I do want to see Darmian take a penalty with
Yeah,
that
Darmian,
captain.
you can't hide Darmian. You cannot hide. Remember, subscribe if you're new. Loads of people are tuning in. Bottom right hand corner. Match reaction follows this, and at midday I'm doing a transfer daily. So, but this penalty shootout has been the most exciting point of Manchester United's US tour so far. And Joel Pereira is certainly enhancing his status as a very, very good goalkeeper. Penalty saver. He goes the right way a lot. Reads it really, really well. I mean, De Gea's not great at penalties, as we've seen.
No, yeah.
Different, doesn't mean you're a great keeper because you're good at penalties. But here's Darmian. Scored.
Look at that.
Why didn't you take one before? Gattuso
They're talking about taking a penalty themselves right now. I'll tell you what. Talk about a Mourinho player. Gattuso, he would have killed to have a guy like Gattuso.
Yeah. I liked Gattuso.
Do everything you ask and then some.
Bit like De Rossi, isn't it? I'd like to add him as well. Anyway, here's AC Milan. Please miss. He scores. So that's it. Everybody, we've been through the whole lot now. So we go back through again. So Andres Pereira will be stepping up again. It's 7-7 on penalties, but effectively it's not. It's sudden death now anyway. So, but everyone has been through the whole team. Andres Pereira. I fully expect him to score again. He's got the technique, baby.
Oh, daddy.
Little dink. No messing.
Yeah, that was nice.
No
that
trouble.
was very nice. Very cool. That's the thing. Like, if you're Mourinho and you see that, the confidence of a guy who's 20, he's 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
How do you not play him? How do you not involve him in your team?
He is. He's got it. He's got that touch of class.
Time will tell, but he's a good player. So smooth.
Seems to have a good relationship with Sanchez as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, I was going to say in the second half, whenever he was picking up the ball from the back four, the first person he'd look for was Sanchez. Yeah.
Come on. Get it won. Here's AC Milan.
Oh,
it's a good penalty though. Went the right way again, Pereira.
Yeah. very friendly shootout. Everyone's hugging each other, and
It's a very good penalty, this was.
yeah, it's in the roof of the net. I mean, that's
Yeah.
unsavable.
Yeah. So, Ander Herrera did well on his last one. Went low to Reyna's right. Let's see what he does this time.
Same thing.
Same again. Good penalty. Good penalty from Ander. Alan Ellis is just called in sick at work. Going a little bit late.
Yeah, I'm heading away. I'm heading away tomorrow for almost a month.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be over. Yeah, I'll be over in your neck of the woods. I'll be in Italy. I'll be going to Leicester home. First week of the season. Yeah, going away for a month.
Going to any other games other than United? Where's Cassie?
Yeah, I'm gonna be going a couple Serie A.
Have they released the fixtures for Serie A yet?
Oh, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a rubbish penalty by Cassie. Tried to chip it down the middle. Chipped it nearly over the stadium. So, not great. But thanks for coming on, Daniel, anyway.
Absolutely, Mark. A real pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Everybody like, subscribe. Got 6,000 watching now, mainly because of that eternity of a penalty shootout. Stay well. Keep up the good work. And, again, thanks for having me, Mark.
Cheers, pal. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Thanks to Daniel for coming on. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm rushing the end of it because we've got to do my match reaction now. The link is in the video description. I'm going to go over there and just react to the game, give my thoughts, especially Luke Shaw. If you're a Luke Shaw fan, you might not like what I'm about to say, but link in the video description, top line, or go through the homepage, and I'm going to give you my match reaction. So I'll see you in about 30 seconds time on that link. The live comments is open there as well. I'll see you in about 30 seconds, shall we say? Link in the video description or go through the homepage. See you in a minute.